Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today I've got a collection of clips ranging from cryptid sightings to convincing alien clips that may just leave you shocked, yet craving more. Ready? Let's jump in. As you know, we love to start our episodes with something grand and big. But today's clip is one that has me and everyone else scratching their head. Take a look. Right off the bat, you can tell that this clip looks like it's been recorded at the beach, but that does not make this weird. No, if you pay attention to the clip, you'll notice that there's something weird happening behind the waves, perhaps in the clouds. It looks like there's a colossal figure or being behind the clouds. It appears to be moving, yet all we can see is the shadow cast on the clouds and nothing more. Some are convinced we're dealing with a giant. Some also think it's a sea creature, whereas there are also some who believe that it's nothing more than an alien ship. Personally, I'm not sure what to make of this one. Are you? Speaking of alien ships, this next capture is one that's allegedly from Mars. If you pay attention to the image, you'll see that there's a humanoid creature standing and staring in the direction of the camera. If you did basic science at school, then you know that the red planet has been officially stated to be without life. Once in a while, however, images like this pop up speculating that the red planet does indeed have life on it and our governments are keeping it under wraps. The situation isn't too surprising because Mars, our captivating neighbor, has always been a source of wonder and speculation. Known as the Red Planet because of its striking reddish hue, Mars intrigues both scientists and dreamers alike. This mysterious world has its fair share of secrets, with some aspects that continue to puzzle researchers. Take water on Mars, for example. Though today's Mars is a cold, dry desert, evidence suggests that it wasn't always this way. Ancient river valleys and lake beds hint at a time when water flowed freely across the surface. This discovery is huge because it opens up the possibility that Mars might have once been warm and wet enough to support life. And then there are Mars' two moons, Phobos and Deimos, which are anything but ordinary. With their odd shapes and the fact that Phobos is slowly spiraling toward the planet, there's a lot to wonder about their origins. Mars' thin atmosphere, mostly made of carbon dioxide, adds another layer of intrigue. It's too thin to support liquid water for long, but thick enough to stir up massive dust storms. Finally, the hunt for life on Mars has been relentless. From the Viking missions in the 70s to the latest rovers, we found clues like organic molecules. But the definitive proof of life remains elusive. So yeah, I did digress, but what do you guys think? Does the planet indeed have aliens on it, or are we just seeing things that aren't there? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Still on aliens, take a look at this clip that popped up online a few months ago. Could you count the legs on that thing? I counted 5 or 6, but I'm not so sure given the blurry nature of the clip. This was allegedly captured by an individual while traveling at night. Now, we don't know where the clip was taken or what the particular context is, so everything we say will basically be based on speculation. As always, I shared this clip with my team members, hoping to solicit their views, and we had 2 schools of thought. Julius and his team thought it was fake, while Aaron and his disciples believed this was real. If you ask me, however, I would say it could go both ways. Now, the clip is grainy and blurry, preventing any thorough analysis. Julius thinks it was intentionally made that way to prevent it from being exposed. Aaron, however, has a contradicting view. He believes the clip was spontaneously taken with a bad camera device in low light, which explains the poor quality. He argues that if the quality was any better, then we would have to doubt the clip because no one would be carrying high-resolution cameras while traveling at night. What do you guys think? Bizarre, right? When I first saw this clip, I was wondering what exactly I was looking at. In the clip, we see a young lady exploring a location that seems to have these humanoids that could pass for humans. The major disqualifying factor is those blue mechanical setups that take up space where their ears and the back of their heads should be. It gives them this robo-look coupled with the way their eyes move and their mannerisms. When I first saw this, I was convinced there was some new breed of robots powered by AI. In fact, I was so impressed by the realism that I started showing to others in my team. They shared my opinions until my video editor saw them. He laughed a bit and told me those are actually humans in costumes for a movie promo. The movie came out last year and it's titled The Creator. It's about an AI and the human race, which is why they look like that. It all made sense after that explanation, and I must say that I've added the movie to my bucket list. What I'm most thankful for is the fact that I didn't show it to Julius first. I can already hear his skeptical laugh with his disapproving gaze. You know what? Let's move on to the next clip. The clip you're seeing was allegedly recorded in Russia. It shows a ball of light emerging from the clouds. Once this large energy ball, well, at least I think that's what it is, goes out of sight, a couple of smaller energy balls follows it out of sight. Naturally, this clip had many talking. Some suspected that it might be an alien ship whose cloaking abilities may have just aided it as it emerged from the cloud. Others thought that the whole thing was edited to make it look like that and spread alien propaganda. You've seen the clip yourself, so what do you think? While you think about that, let's take a look at this one. We're not exactly sure where this was taken, but whoever is recording the clip appears to be before an opening to a very large facility. While the opening in itself appears to be interesting, it's not the star of the clip. If you carefully pay attention, you'll realize that there's a large, furry, humanoid creature moving in the entrance. The person recorded sees it, freaks out, and then the clip ends abruptly. I want to believe the person runs away, but it's not mentioned in the post or description. Instead, the individual is asking for help in identifying whatever that is. Some in my team have suggested it's the big guy, you know, Bigfoot. Now you've seen the clip, so what do you think? So someone sent this in stating that the helicopter you're seeing in the clip is actually releasing genetically modified mosquitoes into the neighborhood. Now, if I'm to guess where the alleged location for this is, I would say Florida, since that's a recent location where genetically modified mosquitoes are being released. Does that mean the video is legit then? Well, after a lot of research and scrutiny at our end, we don't think so. While it's true that mosquitoes are being released in Florida for a disease control program, the mosquitoes are typically packed in special containers that can be released in a controlled manner, and not helicopters like seen in the video. Some have also suggested Bill Gates is behind the initiative for his selfish reasons, but data from our research shows that Bill Gates isn't funding this project locally. Julius thinks that what we are seeing from the chopper is actually smoke that might be related to a gender reveal celebration. I'm tempted to agree with Julius on this one, but what if that's exactly what they want us to think? It's hard to trust anyone and anything these days, including your very own thoughts.
On regarde les étoiles. C'est trop beau. On n'est pas bien là. On n'est pas bien là. Ah. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Oh putain, ça C'est quoi ce bordel?
These two girls were out one night in the middle of the road. They lived in a small town, and since it was pretty late, everyone was indoors and there were no cars driving by at that time. The girls seemed to have come out to get a smoke, and their hysterical laughter suggests they might have been a bit high at the time. One of them had a camera and the other was barefoot. They seemed to be having the time of their lives when something unexpected happened. In the dark at the end of the road, as far as they could see, they noticed something. It was a very tall, dark figure standing there staring at them. The figure then began walking toward them when the girls quickly ran away as fast as possible. The sudden shift from laughter to fear adds an unsettling twist to this late-night encounter. What do you think this figure was? Is the clip even legit, or are they simply looking for their 5 minutes of fame? Share your thoughts in the comments section.
Oh putain, ça
A Sasquatch hunter by the name of Jeff was out in the woods when he captured these images of what he believed to be our elusive big guy staring at him from behind some bushes. In the image, just behind the leaves, you can make out the outline of a very large nose and eyes, and then a hairy head. This isn't human. Though the footage is pretty blurry, the features of the creature appear to be much bigger than those of a regular primate. Could this be evidence of the legendary Sasquatch, or is it just another case of mistaken identity? Jeff certainly believes he's onto something, but with the image being so unclear, it's hard to say for sure. What do you think?
Aqui, ó. Misericórdia. Olha isso. Olha essa imagem, meus amigos.
This video, shared by a curious adventurer exploring the woods, captures an extraordinary and bizarre find. In a small, muddy water hole in the middle of the forest, he discovered an odd-looking skull partially submerged in the murky water. The skull had green, crystal-like eyes that seemed to glow with white pearls surrounding them. The rest of the skull was caked in mud, giving it an eerie, ancient appearance. When he lifted it out of the water, it was heavy, filled with the dirty water from the hole. What could this strange skull be? A relic from an ancient civilization, a piece of elaborate artwork, or something more mysterious? My money's on something more mysterious, but let me know what you think.
Então, pessoal, coloquei pra cá. Olha que sinistro isso aqui. E vai ter coisa aqui dentro. Isso aqui, tá, ó, tô falando? Olha isso aqui, já caiu aqui, ó.
Just in case you didn't think that was mysterious enough, then this next one is for you.
Sorry.
The clip introduces us to a couple of fishermen offloading their catch from their fishing net. If you pay attention, however, you'll realize that the fish they're offloading is no fish at all. It looks like a mix of a human and a fish. Its upper body looks eerily human, while its lower body is fish-like, the kind of body you would attribute to a mermaid. I know what you're thinking. Mermaids, are they even real? Well, we've had a lot of evidence on this channel over the videos to suggest they do. But just like this clip, they haven't been definitive enough. If we have learned anything from the many videos we've made, however, it's that the absence of evidence of the existence of something is not evidence of its non-existence. Speaking of evidence, do you think this would count as one for the existence of merfolks? Let us know in the comments section.
Sorry.
Have you ever snapped a photo and then, when you looked at it later, noticed something in the background that completely escaped your attention at the time? Well, for this man, it took 40 years. After close to 40 years, he went through old photos he'd taken with his dad and siblings, then noticed something, or should I say, something he never noticed the day they took the pictures. There was an old lady in the background watching them. The reason why this is weird, according to him, is the fact that there was nobody there with them the day they took the pictures, yet somehow this woman shows up in the clip at the range they would have surely noticed her, and which has left them scratching their heads. Once the clip went up, people started coming up with theories ranging from it being a ghost to it being a skinwalker. What's strange is the fact that the channel responsible for posting the clip was suddenly deleted and the man never heard from again. Strange, huh? One stormy night in Mexico, as lightning flashed across the sky and rain seemed imminent, a resident decided to capture the dramatic scene on camera. As he filmed the turbulent sky, something strange appeared in the footage. A rectangular-shaped craft was seen moving steadily across the night sky. It had the sleek, angular look of a vehicle, but unlike anything you'd expect to see flying above. Last time I checked, flying cars were still in the prototype stage, so what exactly is going on here? Could this be some advanced technology we're unaware of, or perhaps an extraterrestrial craft making a rare appearance? You tell me. A subscriber sent this in, and it's truly one of the most baffling things we've seen. He captured footage of a waterfall, but instead of the water cascading downwards as you'd expect, it was moving upwards, seemingly defying the laws of gravity. At first glance, you might think it's some sort of optical illusion, but the footage is clear and the water is undeniably moving in the opposite direction. This strange phenomena could have a few explanations. It might be a rare weather event where strong winds push the water upwards, or perhaps something even more unusual is at play. Regardless, seeing something so familiar behaving in such an unexpected way makes you question what other mysteries nature might be hiding. Have any of you ever witnessed something like this? What are we looking at here? It's one of the most dangerous creatures lurking in the ocean's depths, the box jellyfish. At first glance, it might seem almost ethereal with its transparent, almost ghost-like appearance, and a soft glow that gives it an angelic, otherworldly beauty. But don't let its delicate appearance fool you. This is one of the deadliest creatures in the sea. The box jellyfish is known for its venomous tentacles, which can deliver a sting potent enough to cause excruciating pain, heart failure, and, in some cases, death. What makes this creature even more terrifying is its almost invisible nature. Its translucent body makes it nearly impossible to spot in the water, turning a peaceful swim into a potentially deadly encounter. Imagine being in the water and suddenly feeling a searing pain without even seeing what caused it. That's the danger of the box jellyfish: silent, unseen, and lethal. So watch out for these guys when you're out on a swim. In this clip, we're introduced to a scene that's set up in the great outdoors. For the first few seconds of the clip, we see nothing, but that soon changes when an unknown creature quickly moves through the dark. The individual who uploaded this is unable to tell what it is and is very scared. We're unable to also tell what exactly this creature is, but we think it's an animal and nothing to be particularly worried about. Unless there's something I'm missing. If there is, please let me know. This video was taken at sea by one of the fishermen aboard a fishing boat. They had made a huge catch that day, and as they were hauling the heavy net out of the water, things began to take a strange turn. The fish were thrashing wildly, almost as if they sensed something unusual. Then something truly unsettling happened. A webbed hand reached out from the net, attempting to grab one of the men who was struggling with the heavy load. The man was quick to pull back. The hand quickly retreated into the depths of the net, disappearing as quickly as it appeared. This begs the question, had they inadvertently captured a mermaid or siren? The mere thought sends chills down the spine. After all, it's not every day that one encounters something so bizarre and unexplainable. What do you think? This footage is truly something that leaves you in awe. Imagine enjoying a peaceful day at the beach with your family, soaking in the sun and the sound of the waves when suddenly the unimaginable happens. This family in Peru was doing just that, having a fun and relaxing day above the shore, when out of nowhere they noticed something hovering above a nearby mountain. It wasn't just an ordinary sight. Floating above the mountain was a disc-shaped UFO, clear as day against the sky. The sight was so unexpected and surreal that the family didn't even take a moment to process what they were seeing. They immediately ran away. While some might speculate about what this object could be, whether a secret military craft, a weather balloon, or an actual extraterrestrial visitor, the family's reaction speaks volumes. These kinds of sightings continue to fuel the ongoing debate about the existence of UFOs and what they might mean for us. Are they visitors from another world, advanced technology we don't know about, or something else entirely? If anyone told me I was going to be seeing a creature that was half human and half cow when this clip started, I would have laughed, but here it is. I know what you're thinking. How is this possible? Well, I'm thinking the same, and the only culprit that comes to my mind right now is AI. I'm tempted to believe this was created by someone using one of the image generation tools. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. What about you? While you digest the previous clip, take a look at this. The clip starts with someone taking a walk through the woods. The journey abruptly ends when he sees this. I'm not sure what it is, but it looks like worms or intestines moving through the mud. It's not a sight you see every day, and that's definitely why the one recording stopped in his tracks. What do you make of it? This is one I would love to hear your voice on. Next, we've got a rather interesting video that was recorded by a family while out on their Sunday drive. Enjoy. Now, you don't need me to do a lot of commentary on this one because I'm guessing you already know what you're looking at. This is one of the few Bigfoot clips that the community accepts wholeheartedly as being true and real. The big guy seems to be out on his own, enjoying his time in the field. He's unaware he's being filmed, which is a good thing, as it allows us to enjoy its natural behavior and gait. I do wish the clip was a bit up close so we could see more of its features, but you can't always get everything you want, right? At least this clip isn't overly blurry and shaky as some of the other alleged ones are. Maybe we should send Aaron to the same area to bring us her own footage. What do you guys think?
So good. And look, all his tentacles are fully attached. Once you put that in the water, wow. I'm gonna do a nice video on that one. Holy.
A man came across this peculiar round-shaped object on the beach. Curious about what it was, he picked it up and later placed it in the water, and that's when the real surprise unfolded. As soon as the object touched the water, tiny tentacles began to unfurl and spread apart, revealing a fascinating structure. What you're looking at here is a sea organism known as Porpita, commonly known as the blue button. Despite its name, the blue button isn't actually a jellyfish, though it shares some similarities. It's more closely related to the Portuguese man-o-war. But unlike its more dangerous relative, the blue button is mostly harmless to humans. Its vibrant blue color and delicate disc-shaped body make it a striking sight, both in and out of the water. The tentacles are used by the organism to catch tiny prey like plankton as it floats on the surface of the ocean.
Once you put that in the water, wow. I'm gonna do a nice video on that one.
While I don't recommend touching colorful creatures in the ocean, what the individual in the next clip did is also something I don't recommend at all. So, the clip opens up with someone walking along the corridors of a home. The person looks up and sees a strange being standing on one of the structures of the place. Instead of leaving and getting safely inside, the person approaches the being for a clearer view and capture. The result is a bit of video, yes, but after a few seconds, whatever it is that he or she was filming disappears and leaves him or her alone. The big question is, what if that being decided to harm or hurt the individual? How would he have escaped and been safe? Speaking of the being, what do you think we're dealing with here? I came across this footage that highlights the animals humans consume the most per year, and some of the choices might shock you. Take a look. For many, it's unsettling to see animals like horses, camels, and even cats on the list. And yes, dogs are there too. It's chilling to think about that, especially if these animals are beloved pets in some cultures. Of course, it's no surprise that chickens top the list, given their prevalence in diets around the world, but the inclusion of animals like horses and camels, which are often seen as companions or work animals, can be quite disturbing. But then again, it boils down to culture and beliefs. While some animals are considered food in certain parts of the world, they're revered or even sacred in others. Which of the animals on this list are you looking forward to trying? This next footage appears to be one of the closest encounters with a UFO ever captured. It was taken by a passenger aboard a plane on their way to Colombia, and the sighting itself occurred in Colombia airspace. The passenger was simply recording the beautiful, expansive clouds outside the window when out of nowhere, a diamond-shaped UFO came into view, gliding through the sky. The craft's distinct shape and the way it moved left the man stunned. This sighting is remarkable not just for the proximity of the craft, but also because it occurred in broad daylight. This next one is highly controversial and has sparked endless debates online. The footage is of US President Joe Biden speaking during an event. As he raises his hands, something strange appears under the sleeve of his coat and then quickly vanishes. Take a closer look at it. Now, there's a lot of opinions all over the place on this one. Some people insist it looks like a snake or a lizard, sparkling wild theories about reptilian beings. Others have suggested it could be a rosary or some religious artifact slipping out of view. Some dismiss it entirely, claiming the footage is fake or manipulated. On the other hand, some think it's just a simple bracelet or watch, maybe even the edge of a microphone wire strangely catching the light. What do you think it could be? This footage shows something truly unusual, a glowing figure standing at the corner of a building captured by a local resident. But take a closer look. This isn't just any normal human figure. The entity has a distinct human-like shape, but it's glowing almost like it's emitting its own light. Who or what could this be? The eerie light it emits seems to defy the laws of nature, leaving many wonder if what we're looking at is something beyond our understanding. Some speculate that these glowing entities could be visitors from another dimension, beings that exist on a different plane of reality but occasionally slip into ours. Others suggest that this might be some form of advanced technology, perhaps a hologram or even a being made of pure energy. There are also those who believe that such entities are manifestations of spirits, their ethereal glow a sign of their presence among the living. Despite the numerous theories, one thing is certain: this isn't something you see every day. The mystery only deepens when you consider that similar sightings have been reported in various cultures around the world, often associated with sacred or haunted locations. Could this glowing figure be a guardian of some ancient secret, or is it simply an unexplained natural phenomenon? Horses have played a vital role in shaping history. Their grace, strength, and versatility make them unique among animals. Draft horses in particular are the epitome of raw power and endurance. These massive, muscular beasts are often referred to as draft horses. Despite their imposing size, draft horses are known for their calm and patient demeanor, making them invaluable in various tasks throughout history. They've been the backbone of agriculture, pulling heavy plows through fields and hauling logs in deep forests. Their strength has been harnessed for construction, helping to build roads and railways in the days before modern machinery. Draft horses have also been indispensable in warfare. They were used to carry knights in full armor during medieval times, and later they pulled artillery and supply wagons across battlefields. Their ability to work in harsh conditions, whether trudging through mud or snow, make them a key asset in military campaigns. But beyond their utilitarian roles, draft horses are celebrated in cultures around the world. They're often featured in festivals and parades, their grandeur and power on full display. Breeds like the Shire, Clydesdale, and Percheron are particularly famous, not just for their size, but for their noble appearance and history. In today's world, while modern technology has replaced many of the tasks draft horses once performed, these majestic animals continue to be cherished. They're often seen in shows where their strength and beauty are admired, and in some rural areas they still perform the tasks they've done for centuries. The simulation theory has certainly sparked a lot of intriguing discussion, and every time a new piece of footage emerges, it reignites the debate in a fresh and fascinating way. This particular footage, taken during an ad break, is no exception. In the video, Montez Ford, a well-known wrestler, suddenly freezes in front of the camera. It's not just a brief moment of stillness, it's an eerie, prolonged pause that leaves everyone around him visibly confused. The people on set try to get him to move, waving their hands in front of his face, calling his name, and even a woman approaches to touch him. But nothing seems to snap him out of it. He remains perfectly still, like a statue, completely unresponsive. This bizarre incident has led to a wave of speculation online. Some people are saying that Ford isn't real, suggesting that he might be some kind of hologram or digital creation, a project of a glitch in the Matrix. Others believe that this is a genuine glitch in the simulation, where the reality we perceive had a momentary error and Ford's freezing was the result of that. On the other hand, skeptics argue that this could have been a deliberate act. Maybe Ford was playing a prank or performing some kind of performance art. Others suggest that it could be a medical issue or a hoax staged to get people talking. What do you think? This footage comes straight from the ISS, and it's truly baffling. Over the Earth, a cylindrical object was seen moving toward the camera. As it drew nearer, something truly astonishing occurred. The object seemed to vanish completely. One moment it was there, and the next it had simply disappeared into thin air. Just look at that. It's like it simply disappeared. Many believe this could be some sort of UFO, a craft that defies the laws of physics as we know them. Could this be evidence of extraterrestrial technology, or is there some other explanation?
And we are witnessing that today. The other value of technology, I will point out, was after a round of intense finishing conversations and negotiations over the weekend that started on Saturday morning with the speaker, myself, and the trade rep, Robert Lighthizer.
There are countless videos online showing people wearing hyper-realistic silicone masks, blending in seamlessly and changing their appearance. These masks can be incredibly deceptive, making it difficult to tell if someone is hiding behind one. But there's one thing about them that often gives it away: the facial expressions. The creases on the forehead, the way they smile, it all appears forced and very unnatural. Now let's take a closer look at this next footage. Focus on the woman standing behind the man who's speaking. Pay attention to her facial expressions. Notice how she blinks far too often and widens her eyes every now and then. It just doesn't look natural, right? Something about it seems off. Is it possible that she's wearing one of these masks, or is there another explanation for her strange behavior? What do you think?
The speaker was on a hunting expedition. We spoke with him frequently. But the speaker talked to me earnestly about, we're near.
What in the world is going on here? A passerby was walking down a street filled with pigeons when something truly bizarre caught their eye. An iPad was lying on the ground and one pigeon seemed entirely fixated on it. But this wasn't just any ordinary scene. There was a strange black and white spiral pattern spinning on the iPad screen, almost like one of those hypnotic illusions. What's really eerie is that when the pigeon was completely mesmerized, standing still and staring at the screen without moving an inch, it's as if the pigeon was caught in a trance, unable to break free from whatever was happening on that screen. The sight of a bird so utterly captivated by a digital device is unsettling, almost as if the technology had taken control of its mind. Is this just a weird coincidence, or is something more sinister at play?
First, but I'm gonna get. You'll be fine. I'm just gonna get more footage of the Sasquatch. Okay, seriously, look how big it is. It's just chilling.
This video was taken in Provo, Utah. A man was out enjoying the view over the mountain when something caught his eye. As he zoomed in on the distant mountain, what appeared on his screen was nothing short of chilling. There, standing on two legs, was a dark, towering figure that looked almost like a living shadow. The creature stood motionless, its silhouette stark against the landscape. What's even stranger is that the mountain was so far away that if it was a human, you wouldn't be able to see it at all, let alone so clearly. The figure was massive, much too large to be a person from that distance. It's hard to imagine a bear or any other animal standing on two legs perfectly still for such a long time. So what exactly are we looking at? Could this be a Bigfoot sighting, or is there something else lurking in those mountains?
First, but I'm gonna get. You'll be fine. I'm just gonna get more footage of the Sasquatch. Okay, seriously, look how big it is. It's just chilling.
On August the 5th, 2024, near Lake Arrowhead, California, something extraordinary unfolded in the skies. A witness captured a remarkable sight, what appeared to be an unidentified aerial phenomenon silently hovering over the waters of the Southern California lake area. This glowing object was no ordinary star. It was much larger and brighter, hanging in the sky with an almost otherworldly presence. Unlike the usual twinkling stars, this UAP remained steady. There was no sound, no sudden movements, just a mysterious luminous object suspended in the sky. With no official explanation, this eerie encounter has added another layer to the ever-growing list of unexplained events that continue to baffle both skeptics and believers alike. Speaking of creatures taking an interest in trail cameras, have a look at this footage. The footage starts with a caravan or camper in view, but that's quickly interrupted by a canine or dog. On second thought, it's actually a wolf. It starts by licking the trail camera and the actions immediately get aggressive, and within a few seconds it becomes apparent that the creature is very interested in tearing the camera apart. It even picks up the camera and walks away from the scene. After a few seconds, however, it realizes that it's not something that it can easily destroy, nor is it something that will give it nourishment. It then gives up and walks away, or perhaps it notices movement in the camper a few meters away from it. Whatever the case, we won't know what made it walk away for sure, but this gives us an idea of how an animal will behave with a trail camera, which only convinces me the more that the first footage from today's episode could indeed be a Bigfoot. But what do you think? If you've been a faithful follower of our chronicles, you're well aware that venturing alone into the depths of the woods is a recipe for hair-raising adventures that you won't find in any travel brochure. Watch this video. The footage was captured by a lone hiker innocently embracing the serenity of nature's embrace, unaware of the chilling plot twist about to unfold. As he meanders through the leafy labyrinth, a peculiar sensation tingles down his spine, a subtle whisper of unease that only Mother Nature can master. He turned around only to spot this strange woman standing by a tree. Frozen in time, this spectral maiden gazes upon the world with a lifeless demeanor. But here's where things go from eerie to downright bone-chilling. Rivulets of a crimson-like liquid trickle down her face like a nightmarish raindrop painting her existence with an otherworldly palette. Was she a mere illusion, a puppetry of light and shadow, or did the woods conceal something far more sinister? A ritual gone awry, an ancient curse brought to life in this isolated clearing? Could it be a fallen soul trapped between realms, or a mirage concocted by the forest's twisted imagination? Or could it simply be a setup and a hoax? It's hard to say, but what do you think? There is something about mountain hiking and paranormal sightings. People who go to the highlands always seem to have a tale to tell, especially on the Appalachian Trail. This footage was uploaded onto the internet and it remains a mystery to date. A hiker went to the Appalachian Trail when he came across this strange creature. The creature looked like some kind of a bird, but was bigger. It had white feathers and a large beak. However, its eyes were big and hollow. The creature stood hidden behind a tree, so it's hard to make out the rest of its features. The internet became a canvas for the world to ponder, a virtual gallery for the enigma captured on film. Yet alas, despite the collective brainpower of the internet's denizens, the creature remains nameless, its identity as elusive as the morning mist. The realm of possibility widens. Is this an undiscovered species, an interdimensional visitor, or a resident of the paranormal's menagerie? What do you think? What would you do when you wake up to a wild animal, specifically a horse, watching you sleep? Well, wonder no more. Instead, watch this footage. Yes, and yes again. That's a horse watching a woman sleep. And no, it's no peeping Tom situation. The horse probably saw the strange tent in the woods and hadn't seen it before. It might have gone to investigate, which led to what you're seeing on the screen. The camping woman was shocked and surprised, and I don't blame her. I would be too if I woke up to a horse staring me down. The uploader initially believed it was a skinwalker or a demon tailing her because it stared for so long. We love a paranormal story as much as the next guy, but that's definitely not a skinwalker, demon, or shapeshifter. What do you think? Next, we have a couple of captures from Manchester, Connecticut that has us scratching our heads. Have a look. I wish I could tell you what we're looking at, but the truth is, I don't know. Sure, you're looking at the skeletal remains of some wild animal, but the thing is, we don't know what it is. The original poster, however, said he contacted Deep, and they told him it was a raccoon. However, we can't confirm its accuracy as this isn't an area we have much expertise. Can any of you confirm this? We'd really love to know. Now, we have had ghost encounters, mummies, cryptids, paranormals, and what have you, but I doubt any would compare to what I'm about to show you. If you don't have a strong stomach, I suggest skipping for the next few seconds. If you're good, take a look. A paranormal investigator was investigating the building when he came across what you see on your screen. Imagine walking into a room and seeing a woman tied up like this. Well, she's not exactly alive, but in an instant he believed that it was truly someone who'd been handcuffed there and left to die. Perhaps the victim of a kidnapping. After investigating it for a while, though, he starts to believe it's a prop. His investigation is, however, interrupted by a sound behind him. He was not alone.
Jeez! Alright, no, I didn't do that. That sounded like it came from down the end of this hall.
There was someone in there with him, and whoever it was, the person was trying to escape the building. He tried to get out of the place and return with his team, but he ended up lost with a lot of spooky things happening around him. If the woman was indeed a prop or a doll, why then are weird things happening in the building? Think about it. In this next footage, a group of youngsters ventured into the woods in search of an adventure. As they ventured further into the woods, they stumbled upon a peculiar sight. A dried-up riverbed, but what was even more unsettling was the presence of a mysterious woman draped in a flowing white cloth. At first, she was crouched down, but later stood up with her back turned to them as she made strange movements with her head and arms, almost as if she was performing some kind of ritual. Curiosity getting the better of them, one brave soul from the group approached the enigmatic woman, perhaps to inquire about her purpose in the desolate place. But suddenly, the woman let out a bone-chilling scream which scared the group and sent them running for their lives. What started as a simple quest for adventure took an unexpected and bone-chilling turn. It seems these young explorers got far more than they bargained for in the heart of those ominous woods. Believe me when I say I've seen things, but never have I seen nor thought of seeing what I'm about to show you. And yes, that's a weird-looking creature on top of a wild boar. It actually seems to be riding it. Look at the image. You can't help but wonder what creature you're looking at. It appears to be a humanoid of sorts with some weird foot. It looks in the trail camera and poses as though it knows that it's being watched and actually wants to be seen. Nobody on my team could tell what kind of creature it was, even after running it through our in-house glossary of paranormal creatures. It was at this moment that one of our team members started scrutinizing the picture. He believes that the boar is actually not being ridden and might actually be grazing. He thinks the uploader of the image simply edited an image of a boar grazing and posted it online to make it look like a paranormal creature was, well, riding it. Personally, I think that might be the case too, but the team's divided on it. What do you think, though? Next, we have one of those that have you questioning what you're seeing. This was uploaded by someone who was very convinced that there was a demonic spawn on his property. He'd heard strange sounds at night, investigated, and seen nothing. He often heard strange noises at midnight and saw two glowing eyes appear and reappear in the distance. He set up a trail cam, hoping he could capture whatever creature it was. The aftermath is what you see. There's a black creature right in front of the metallic object in the background. The uploader is convinced that's the demonic spawn, but it looks like one of those small species of dogs to me. But what do you think? With recent announcements in the USA about aliens, footage of possible sightings have been emerging, and this next clip is no exception. Have a look. In the clip, we see a young man moving up and about in his home. He steps out, and we see that his home is closer to the woods than it is to the city. Taking a critical look at the footage, however, we see what looks like a light source from a distance. As the camera stabilizes, we realize that it's no light source at all. Instead, it appears to be the head of some strange creature. The one recording calls out to it and asks what it wants, but his query goes unanswered. At this point, it's easy to tell that it's no ordinary person or creature. We're actually dealing with some sort of alien. The alien creature doesn't respond to the boy or move towards him. Instead, it walks away uninterested. Was it searching for a specific specimen that the young man didn't fit? Or could it have been deaf, explaining its lack of response to the shouting? Or am I simply overthinking this? Share your thoughts with me in the comments section.
What do you want? What the fuck? Why are you walking away? Where the fuck is it going? Holy shit. Holy crap, I haven't seen that fucking close before.
This next footage indeed showcases a fascinating and unexpected phenomenon involving a hollow tree struck by lightning. It's a reminder that nature and its interactions can often produce outcomes that defy our expectations. Have a look. In the video, a peculiar event unfolds as a thunderous noise is followed by a lightning strike that hits a tree. Typically, when a tree is struck by lightning, it can catch fire, break, and fall to the ground, burning until it turns into ashes. However, this particular tree seems to be burning from the inside, resembling a rotisserie chicken roasting to perfection. It's almost as if the thunder and lightning are acting as chefs. What makes this occurrence especially baffling is that there is no visible ash coming from the tree. Normally, when a tree burns, it leaves behind ash as it consumes the wood. However, in this case, it appears that the tree is burning internally without breaking apart or producing ash as expected. Such events serve as a reminder of the mysteries of nature and how there are phenomena that we don't fully understand. It can indeed invoke thoughts and contemplation about unusual occurrences and their possible significance. The world around us continues to surprise and astonish us with its complexity. Wouldn't you agree? Next, we have this footage, which is a favorite of mine. In the capture, we see a man rushing towards a kangaroo. At first glance, it looks like the kangaroo is only having fun with the dog. But if you know anything about kangaroos, you know that it's got the dog in a headlock and the dog's life is in danger. The handler of the dog knew this and runs toward the kangaroo. The kangaroo doesn't look like it's ready to let things go so easily until the man punches it. Yes, he punched it, but not only so it would let the dog go, the creature was stunned and actually let the dog go. The owner of the dog uses that as an opportunity to escape, and I must say I applaud him for that. That way, unnecessary interactions are avoided, which keeps both parties safe without needing to put anything down. Next, we have footage that shows something rather out of this world. Have a look. You saw the footage, didn't you? The footage starts off looking like an ordinary evening in the woods when a fast-moving worm-like object comes from the right toward the left. It looks like a beady necklace of some sort, but it's flying. Are you familiar with things like these? Well, we are. They are called rods. In paranormal discussions, rods typically refer to elongated, fast-moving objects that are sometimes captured in photographs or videos, particularly in the presence of insects or flying creatures. The one in this footage doesn't seem to be accompanied by insects, but that doesn't take away their authenticity. It was sent in by a subscriber of this page who says they've always been where he is, and he has more. Frankly speaking, we believe him, but what do you think? Do you have any experiences with these? Tell us in the comments section. Now let's turn our gaze to the majestic and quiet character, the bull elk, a fellow who's got a peculiar way of preparing for the grand dance of romance. Look at this gentle giant adorned with an impressive crown of antlers, ready to woo the cow elks with a performance that can only be described as unconventional. Behold the spectacle known as wallowing, a practice that might seem to human eyes as if our dashing bull is getting a little too cozy with the mud. But lo and behold, there's more to this than meets the eye. The bull elk, with an air of determination worthy of a rom-com hero, plunges his antlers into the soft embraces of the earth as if he's a maestro conducting an opera of attraction. But let's not be too hasty in judgment, for in the animal kingdom, the concept of charm takes on unique forms, much like the varying genres of our favorite films. While we humans dress to the nines and dab on fragrances to woo potential partners, the animal realm takes a different route. Our dapper bull, it seems, has traded in designer suits for a mud bath, a perfume of his own making, a distinctive aroma of earthiness mingled with, well, his brand. You see, the bull elk takes the art of seduction to a whole new level. Covered in a concoction of mud and, yes, his urine, he struts his stuff in an attempt to turn the heads, or should I say hooves, of the cow elks. They sometimes do this for health reasons too, but I'm betting this guy is doing it for romance. He looks like a true lover boy channeling his inner Casanova through earthly extravagance. What do you think? Aliens are all the buzz now, and we can understand why, but this is footage from some years ago, and we can't even emphasize enough how eerie-looking it is. Take a look. So, what do you see in the footage? Did you initially think it was an alien or an extraterrestrial being? If so, I wouldn't blame you. Interestingly, some individuals have been sharing snapshots of this creature on paranormal pages, claiming it to be an alien. But what if I told you that this isn't an alien at all? What if I said that what you're seeing is actually a bear? Would you be surprised? The creatures you're witnessing in the footage are actually bears that supposedly reside in a sanctuary in Germany. Strangely, they began losing their fur at a certain point without any apparent reason. In fact, even the zookeepers couldn't pinpoint the exact cause. Either way, you have to admit that bears look pretty different when they don't have their coating and fur. Although the circumstances are unfortunate, it's interesting to see. What would you do when a wild animal shows up on your property? Well, you take a picture, especially if it's up close, and that's exactly what the one who sent these pictures in did. Have a look. If you're a long-term subscriber of this channel, then you know I've been chastised often when it comes to identifying members of the cervid family, and by that I mean elks, moose, and deer. When it comes to these pictures, I believe I know which one is in it. It's definitely an elk, and a majestic one at that. Although the pictures are not the sharpest and look amateurish, you can't deny that's a good-looking specimen. And if I'm correct with the identification of the animal, I think I deserve some accolades from you guys. Well, but if I'm wrong, however, please do have mercy. We all know that cats are quite fearless, especially tiny house cats, and we also know that they consider their owners their servants. But we didn't think this behavior of domestic cats occurs in the wild as well. I mean, take a look at this footage. Yes, that's a feline on the shoulder of a rhino. My initial thoughts were the cat believes it owns the rhino and it must bend to its will. But turns out that's not the situation at all. In fact, that's not a domestic cat, it's a genet. According to our experts, the genet was most likely using the rhino as an elevation to hunt smaller creatures within the area. I know cats are smart, but that's smart on a whole new level. Have you ever seen a genet before, or did you know there was even such a creature before this clip? Tell us in the comments section. Behold the spectacle that beckons us into the heart of the woods, a sight that prompts us to question our senses. Is that a tree sprouting horns? But hold your breath, dear observers, for truth often dances on the fine line between the extraordinary and the everyday. While our minds may be inclined to plunge into the depths of the paranormal, this tale hails from a different realm, one where the spirits of tradition and ritual intertwine with the roots of the earth itself. As people of the paranormal community are tempted to believe this is a tree growing horns, fear not, dear enthusiasts of the unexplained, for the answer for this enigma lies within the annals of human history. There is an ancient ritual where the natives of the land back then put the slaughtered heads of rams into the trunk of the tree. With time as their muse, they fused with the very fibers of the tree, becoming one with its essence, an immortal testament to the connection between the tangible and the mystical. That's what's happening here, at least we think so. If you believe it's mystical, however, we won't take that from you. Next, we go all the way to Seattle, where this footage was supposedly taken. Have a look. The capture starts off looking natural, but we soon spot the black spot behind the trees in the snow-covered area. The uploader of this capture noticed it too and quickly went back to the area to investigate, as he was a Bigfoot enthusiast and suspected that he'd actually captured one. His curiosity and hunch paid off, as they spotted the creature within the area when they returned. But seeing them from afar, the creature did its best to escape. The second footage you are seeing is what they captured during their second visit and investigation. The footage is quite blurry, making it difficult for us to verify its authenticity, but have you seen it too? What do you think? Is it real or is it merely edited footage? Tell us your thoughts in the comments section. We'd actually love to know. Can animals sense otherworldly creatures? Well, here's a Trailcam footage that answers this question. In the footage, we see a deer standing by a tree going about its business when it suddenly stops and looks to the right. It's almost as if it felt something move in that area or direction. If you pay attention to the footage just around that time, you can see it. Something transparent moves in that area. There's a ghostly creature there. However, we can't really see it, so we can't tell what it is. It's not fully materialized in our plane, but it's so slightly visible that we can see it when it moves. As much as we'd want to find out what otherworldly creature we're dealing with, we can't help but feel this footage is an answer to the mystery of animals being able to sense otherworldly creatures. It could be just us, but what do you think? Now let's delve into a chilling encounter in Siberia, where a possible alien sighting has left many baffled. Have a look. As the camera rolls, we find ourselves in the icy wilderness of Siberia, where a lone explorer stumbles upon a mysterious creature frozen in the ice. Though we can't understand the explorer's words due to the unfamiliar dialect, it only adds to the intrigue and wonder. The creature bears an uncanny resemblance to the stereotypical image of an extraterrestrial being. Despite its otherworldly appearance, the creature is lifeless and remarkably well preserved within the ice. Determining how long it's been encased here is challenging, but ice-preserving qualities raise the possibility that it's been there for an extended period, hidden from our knowledge. But if this is genuinely an alien, it raises profound questions. How long have these beings been among us? What is their purpose? And should we be concerned about our safety? While skepticism may tempt some to label this as a hoax, it's crucial to consider recent disclosures in the USA regarding the existence of extraterrestrial life. It's a revelation that forces us to reevaluate our understanding of the universe and our place within it. Makes you rethink everything, doesn't it? All this man wanted to do was enjoy a good time with his girlfriend on his property in the countryside. Things initially went as expected, but they took a dark turn when he began hearing eerie and terrifying sounds. He ventured outside to investigate and noticed eerie eyes seemingly following him in the darkness. On one occasion, he spotted it on his roof, followed it from the ground, and ultimately discovered what appeared to be the carcass of another animal. First off, how did whatever that creature was drag it up there? Is it some vampire creature or a creature of the night? Some fancy it being a skinwalker, but that's something I just don't see. It reminds me of the dark creatures from the Netflix series Castlevania, only this isn't some series, this is real life. I can't see anyone saying no to the cool country breeze, the quiet life, the relaxed scenery, and all things associated with the countryside. But what about these creatures of the night that plague the place? Well, you decide. we have this rather funny video. Have a look. In the footage, a pride is resting while some explorers look on from the safety of their car. One of the lionesses gets curious, but that's good for the explorers as it gave them the opportunity to look at the creature up close. That was at least until the lioness opened the door. It's at this moment they realized that there was more to life than taking videos and selfies. They quickly pull the back door, lock, and drive away. Frankly speaking, that was a close call and they got really lucky. Imagine they couldn't close it on time and the creature actually got to them. In fact, stop imagining, it's too disturbing. We're just glad they made it out safe. If you, the subscriber of this channel, have proven anything, it's the fact that you have an eye for detail and that you are capable of noticing even the smallest of details. Your knowledge of animal species has proven to be better than even mine, so I have this bonus footage for you. What do you see? Is it a fisher, an otter, or a mink? Or could it be another species altogether? You tell me. Put your answer in the comments section and start your comment with bonus footage so we can easily identify it. Do well to add 2 rare facts about the species, and the fastest individual with the rarest of facts receives a shout-out and a feature in our next video. You could become the 4th person to ever be featured on the channel, and it's an honor you shouldn't let pass you by. All the best. In the next footage, you would not believe what a man captured deep in the woods. This man is reported to have heard a strange noise coming from the woods and decided to investigate. He set out with his camera and torchlight in the night to find out what was behind the strange noise. As he followed the enigmatic noises, his journey led him to a mysterious and foreboding fence adorned with a stern warning: no trespassing. Undeterred, he boldly crossed this threshold and moved closer to the source of the eerie sounds. What he witnessed sent shivers down his spine. A colossal figure lurking in the distance, a creature of gargantuan proportions that resembled the infamous Siren Head. Fear and disbelief gripped him as he concealed himself, silently observing the behemoth as it drew nearer. Only when the creature had passed was he able to make his escape. Upon sharing his harrowing footage with the world via YouTube, a cacophony of reactions erupted. Some cried hoax, while others were left in awe and terror. But what are your thoughts on this perplexing encounter? We'd really love to hear them. Still on giant or tall creatures, take a look at this next footage. Although the uploader doesn't exactly tell us where he took the footage, based on the footage alone, we can tell that this was captured in some snowy mountain or probably during winter. At first, the footage appears to be a typical woodland scene, but within seconds, a massive, furry creature comes into view in the distance. Without warning, you might be tempted to think you're dealing with a gorilla due to its size. But do gorillas walk on all 2s like the creature in the footage is doing? Well, definitely not. So what's the explanation for what we are seeing? There's no logical explanation for it. If we want to thoroughly explain the footage, we will have to step into the realm of the paranormal, and that's exactly what the paranormal community did. The community believed that we were actually looking at a potential footage of Bigfoot, and I'm leaning towards that explanation and possibility. I mean, can you name any other creature of such size and movement? Precisely, it's undoubtedly Bigfoot. Next, we have another set of spectral images sent in by some subscribers after our last video. Comparing this new image to the one we've captured previously, you can see the difference, can't you? The first one seems to have machines in the capture, while the second one, much akin to our earlier captures, seems to have a deer. Going by the first image alone, I'm tempted to think that we may have an alien situation on our hands, and that what we're seeing is nothing more than a glitch between their technology and our trail cameras. Perhaps they're using some cloaking device that the trail cameras are somehow picking up through some sort of interference. What if the spectral images we are seeing, including those involving animals, are nothing more than them cloaking our animals and taking them off the planet? I know it's wild, but it's not impossible. But if that's too much of a stretch for you, our camera experts believe that this could be nothing more than damaged trail cameras causing glitches in between the frames of the images they're capturing. Some also think that we may be looking at damaged SD cards affecting the integrity of the captured images. But if that's the case, why are we seeing these images from all over the globe? It should be an isolated incident, shouldn't it? But what do I know? I know that deer looked possessed, but what do you say about this trail cam capture? Yes, that's a small girl standing in the middle of the woods staring at the trail camera like something from a horror movie. The image was supposedly taken in a village in India where festivals are held for the possessed. Apparently, there's a priest that helps individuals get rid of their evil spirits. The little girl you see was apparently one of them, and she escaped to the woods only to be captured by the trail camera. Listening to the story, it initially sounded interesting, but it became less interesting with each word and sentence. First of all, we don't think that looks like India, but we could be wrong. Secondly, we just can't shake off the feeling that we might actually be dealing with an elaborate hoax. Call it a hunch of sorts, but that could just be us being overly critical about a picture involving a possessed little girl. Perhaps that's the spirit manipulating us so it can stay hidden. But what do you think? Is this a real picture or a possessed girl? Or is it someone simply messing with those of us who believe in the paranormal? Share your thoughts with us. Now let's shift gears and bask in the heartwarming embrace of nature's comedians, the southern pigtailed macaques, the real VIPs of the jungle catwalk. These fuzzy mischief makers, known scientifically as Macaca nemestrina, are the stars of today's show. Confused? Watch this. Cute, right? Well, don't let their cherubic appearances fool you. For beneath those innocent faces lie the souls of true tricksters. Observe as they gather round the camera like paparazzi at a Hollywood premiere, curiously inspecting this alien contraption in their jungle paradise. They hop, they skip, they swing, and all the while they're plotting their next grand caper. What could that be, you ask? Hold onto your bananas, folks, for the climax is nigh. One brave, or should we say brazen, member of the troupe steps up to the plate with a glint of mischief in those mischievous eyes. It reaches out to snag the device. Is it successful, though? Well, we're watching the footage, meaning they never got away with it. Although the camera falls out of place, for some odd reason, these monkeys are unable to get away with it, fortunately for their owner. But have you had any encounters with monkeys or apes of any kind? Did they steal anything from you? Tell us in the comments section, as we'd really love to know. This next footage you're about to see was captured on a trail cam, seemingly during the near darkness of night. In the capture, we see a dense forest of trees, setting the scene for our intriguing discovery. In the center of the capture, we see a mysterious object that's practically unidentifiable. It might appear to be part of the foliage at first, but upon closer inspection, we start to see it for what it really is, a creature with peculiar scales and a green hue, giving it an otherworldly appearance. There's no way it looks like any type of plant. I mean, a little like maize, but there's no way it would pass for one. The creature, or whatever it is, also appears to have a rugged texture adorned with spikes, leaving no surface untouched. In fact, it could almost be mistaken for the relic of a cryptid encounter. Taking a gander at its suspended leg uncannily resembles that of a lizard or a chicken, perhaps. Is this an example of a mutated animal, or could it be an entirely new form of cryptid? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Stepping away from the Night King and all things cold, we have another interesting bit of footage. Have a look. The footage starts out as an ordinary drive through the dark woods until a creature in white crawls out from the right side of the bush, heading toward the left. The individual driving immediately stops, reverses, and gets the hell out of there. The one who sent this in states it was a skinwalker and he was the one driving. But let's analyze the video. At first glance, it looks like it's a creature with white skin, perhaps a rake. But once you zoom in, you realize that this white covering is nothing more than fabric. Could this footage have actually been the result of an elaborate hoax? Well, I believe so. There's no plausible explanation for what we see. Plus, who drives in the middle of nowhere that late and alone? The strong stance to sell this off as a skinwalker makes me think so. I mean, it definitely looks like a man crawling on his knees. But what do I know? Been very controversial with the Classic Captures team and the paranormal community at large. Before I say any more, watch the footage. You see it, don't you? It looks like a creature noticed the trail cam and took a look at the camera to see if it was working or rolling. It's hard to see the face of the creature or animal, but from what we can tell, it's hairy and has a well-defined nose. It's almost as though it was trying not to be captured by the camera and wasn't sure if it had captured its face. Whatever the case, the creature suddenly attacks the camera and tears it down. It leaves after a few seconds, presumably thinking it had destroyed the camera. Now, here's the kicker. Some of my team believe it's a bear, and I don't blame them. It could be, after all. But many of us and a majority of the paranormal community that saw the video believe it's rather a Bigfoot. The community believes that the creature in the capture is Bigfoot that had thought it had been captured by the trail camera while exploring the woods and wanted to destroy all evidence of its existence. I know bears are curious and can be destructive, but I'm leaning toward the Bigfoot theory. It makes the most sense to me. What about you? If you have followed and been on this channel for long, you know we only love to post Trailcam captures, but this next one has us so spooked that we just had to show it to you. Have a look. The video starts with what looks like a couple of friends enjoying a drive. This atmosphere is, however, interrupted when they realize that there's something chasing them, which is weird because they're on a highway. Glancing behind, they spot a figure, or perhaps a humanoid-like creature in pursuit. In a matter of seconds, the creature closes in, prompting them to accelerate. But how could it catch up so quickly? Who or what is this? Even Usain Bolt might struggle to match such speed. Upon closer examination, we notice the creature's white or pale skin and distinctly human-like features. Yet the extraordinary speed and appearance defy any human explanation. Our thoughts turn to the possibility of a cryptid, perhaps even the infamous rake. But can a rake move with such speed? Well, that remains a mystery, but what do you guys think? I doubt you've seen a woodpecker video funnier than this. Just watch. Now, this is something you don't come across every day, and yes, that's a woodpecker hammering, or should I say, pecking away at the window pane. It's unclear why, but if this was a restaurant and it was human, maybe a Karen, I'd say it really needed to speak to the manager. But these knocks aren't random, they've got a distinct rhythm. Pay close attention and you'll notice. It's almost as though the lad's been training in music and could distinguish between quarter notes, eighth notes, and 16th notes. All jokes aside, the beaks on those birds never cease to amaze me. They must possess remarkable strength and intensity to carry out their remarkable feats. Just imagining doing that with my head gives me a headache. Still, it's an impressive video, don't you think? Now, what do we have here? Someone captured this footage of a creature in the woods resembling a hedgehog, but with its own peculiar twist. This little enigma is black with yellow spikes on its head and a mix of white and black spikes on its back, creating a distinctive appearance. It's jumpy, with fewer spikes than a hedgehog and a tad smaller in size. Just in case you're wondering what this might be, allow me to introduce you to the mysterious woodland dweller, the tenrec. These creatures native to Madagascar and parts of Africa belong to the Tenrechidae family and share some similarities with hedgehogs, but with their own unique characteristics. Next, you might want to hold onto your sombreros because we've got a celestial spectacle in the Mexican skies that's sparking quite the debate. In the footage, you can see a strange star-shaped object gracefully descending behind some bushes. It's the kind of sight that looks like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. As the footage circulates, opinions started pouring in. Some pragmatic folks suggest it might be a balloon or perhaps a drone, while others with an extraterrestrial flair throw the idea of an alien craft into the mix. But here's where it takes a turn toward the mystical. There are whispers of it being an angel. Yeah, you heard it right. An angelic being descended from the heavens. Evidence-wise, well, there's not much to go on there. But what's your take on this mysterious Mexican sky show? A mere balloon or drone, a potential UFO, or perhaps an angelic visitation? This human stone can be found in Ireland. The first time I saw it, I was told it was a real person who'd been turned to stone, and that made me feel sick to my stomach. I was wondering how much pain this person had gone through when their body was being mummified in the middle of the river. Was it some kind of medieval torture method? My fears were soon dispelled, and if I gave you an indication that this was real, I would want to dispel your fears as well. This is no sinister tale of agony. Instead, it's a testament to the enduring spirit of human endeavor. This eerie creation is in fact a sculpture, an artful representation of the relentless struggles and unwavering determination that drive individuals to conquer their ambitions. Interesting, huh? This footage was taken in a Catholic church where the congregation was having a service, but one person noticed something strange with the statue of Jesus on the cross. Initially, everything appears tranquil. The figure of Jesus remains in its customary pose. But then, something unusual happens, something that challenges the boundaries of the ordinary. The statue's eyes begin to move. Did you catch it? A subtle, almost imperceptible shift in the statue's gaze. It's a moment that defies easy explanation, leaving those who witnessed it both curious and puzzled. For those present, this event blurred the line between the natural and the supernatural, stirring questions about just what happened. Was it a paranormal occurrence, or perhaps just a quirk of lighting and perspective? A woman was piloting a chopper over the coastal lands of Hawaii when all of a sudden the engine failed. The craft almost tipped over and fell. But here's where the plot takes a thrilling turn. This woman is no ordinary pilot. In a split-second decision, she engages in auto-rotation, a daring maneuver that allows her to navigate the failing chopper safely to the beach below. Talk about a close call.
Shit started coming, man. I was like, what the fuck? I bullshit you not, dude. Like, I never saw you this shit ever happened before in my life. Tell me, are they rapping shit now?
When we say the world is getting stranger by the day, it's no joke. Take a look at this footage, for instance. A man purchased watermelon, and here's what happened. Yup, he's rinsing the watermelon, and the skin with the patterns is just peeling off as though it were a sticker. I've always thought of people who say the government was messing with our foods as conspiracy theorists, but with the kind of things I'm seeing of late, I'm tempted to believe them. Perhaps we ought to take this news and research into genetically modified food more seriously than we are. Do you guys think we need to be extra careful with our food? Has anyone encountered something like this? Kindly share your thoughts and experiences in the comments section. I'll be reading.
Shit started coming, man. I I was like, what the fuck?
We've had weird trees in today's episode, but this next one is my favorite, and once you see it, you'll understand. As you can see, this tree doesn't look grotesque, nor does it look scary. Instead, it looks like one of my favorite mythological creatures of all time, a dragon. And what's more, you can actually try to kiss it. But how could a tree take the shape of a dragon? And no, this isn't a case of pareidolia, at least not for me. What could account for this tree's strange growth formation? All other trees in the area look normal. What if, and this is a big what if, but what if an actual dragon was cursed and transformed into a tree? I know it's a big stretch, but after everything we've seen on this channel, would you consider that an impossibility? Think about it. Either way, that was the final clip in today's episode. Deep in the Indian jungle, an adventurous YouTuber and his crew embarked on a chilling expedition to explore an eerie, abandoned house. The building was dated to years ago, so the structure is very ruined and looks like a hotspot for haunting. The walls, covered in green fungus and mold, bore witness to years of neglect. Trees have even sprouted within the property. The structure was said to be owned by a family who were killed in the house, resulting in rumors of serious hauntings on the property. I'm guessing that's why this YouTube crew went to check it out. Initially, as they explored the house, nothing seemed amiss except for a lone stray cat resting by a window. However, within minutes, they spot a strange figure standing in one of the rooms. The discovery was spine-chilling, and naturally they tried to discern what exactly they were dealing with. The figure looked like a girl. It had long, black, flowing hair, yet she herself stood stiffly. Her demeanor and stance naturally spooked the team, and they ran out of the place. Now, I want this to be true, but a part of me questions the authenticity of the footage. What about you? A similar thing happens in this footage as well. A family was taking a video with their backs turned to the camera when all of a sudden a boy in a blue shirt appeared out of nowhere and climbed the railing. Let's watch that again. Do you see that? There's no sign of him being there until he just pops out of nowhere and climbs the railing. The family, caught up in their own thing, doesn't seem to notice this unexpected addition. Is this just camera angles, or is there another case of a glitch in the Matrix? Training animals to perform tricks is nothing new. We see a lot of street performers with dogs, birds, and cats. Some even train seals and dolphins to put on a good show. However, here we have someone who claims he can train insects. In this strange insect extravaganza, the man uses his hands to direct the bee, and the tiny performer follows suit. The bee rolls a flat object on the table with a precision that could rival well-trained pets, navigating a straight line without losing focus. It's a spectacle that raises eyebrows and prompts a whole new set of questions. Can insects truly be trained to perform tricks, or is this a case of clever camera work and illusion? Next, we have this Trailcam footage that's had us scratching our heads. What do you see in the footage? It starts off looking like your everyday Trailcam capture, a nice capture of a raccoon going about its business in the evening, but look up. Do you see it? Right in the top corner of the footage, there are a set of lights moving in a way that makes me believe they're from the same aircraft. But no human aircraft have lights arranged like that unless I'm unaware, which I highly doubt. To add to that, there are no flight paths where this footage was taken. What could we be dealing with then? Well, the answer is simple: a potential spacecraft. Just a few weeks ago, my claims might have seemed far-fetched, but considering that certain well-known government entities are now monitoring spacecrafts, I don't think I'm too far off the mark. Seriously though, what do you think that thing in the footage is? Tell us in the comments section. Ah, the stage is set for a spine-tingling tale from the depths of the unknown. In this footage, we have a crew of brave sewage workers descending into the underbelly of an abandoned sewer in Liverpool, but guess what they encounter on their way down? As the intrepid explorers ventured deep into the subterranean labyrinth, a flicker of movement in the shadows caught their attention. A mysterious figure, an enigmatic intruder lurking in the darkness. Did I say intruder? It looked like it was pretty much at home. Perhaps the sewage workers were the ones invading its home and had to make sure it was safe. Either way, eager to capture this unearthly encounter, they whipped out their trusty recording device, turning the scene into a reel straight out of a found footage thriller. And there, in the obsidian abyss, behold the unexpected, a pair of luminous eyes akin to stars glimpsing through the fabric of the cosmos. As soon as the eyes noticed they were being filmed or watched, they retreated. Within seconds, however, those glowing eyes returned, accompanied by a spectral arm reaching out from the darkness, its fingers tracing the very walls as if they held secrets untold. Alas, the jig was up. The creature had been caught in the spotlight, and in a flash it scurried away like a character fleeing the scene of a crime. What manner of being is this, you ask? A creature straddling the line between the human and the monstrous, its arms hinting at a humanoid form, while its radiant eyes evoke the eerie allure of the unknown. There's only one creature that fits this description, the Rake. What do you think? This footage was taken in southern India. In the footage, we see a huge beam of light coming from the mountains that lights up its surroundings in a strange orange glow. The light starts on the ground and goes up into the sky. It looks nothing like an explosion or regular light, but it does bring to mind the Florida video from earlier. So what could this be? Some netizens think it could be aliens, perhaps a signal from outer space. Others wonder if it's just a natural thing, like a special play of light and air that we don't yet understand. I don't want to think it's an alien signal because that's never good news, but then again, it's possible this is just another phenomenon we know nothing about. Anyway, what's your idea about what's going on in this unusual scene? A curious individual casting a line into the calm pond came across a strange occurrence. Take a look. At first, we're introduced to what looks like a square-shaped organism peacefully floating on the water's surface. Within seconds, the once solid entity undergoes a perplexing transformation. The square-shaped organism disintegrates, breaking down into a cascade of tiny balls that scatter into the water. The sudden and surreal spectacle begs the question, what could this be? Is it a natural phenomenon, a unique organism with a brief and fleeting existence, or does it suggest something more mysterious beneath the pond's surface? While I want to think those are alien ships, Julius, our geek, states that we may actually be looking at a slow-feeding mechanism for the plants. While that does sound logical, you have to agree that it's less exciting. Anyway, what do you guys think? Strange creatures or slow-dissolving food? Share your thoughts. If the enigmatic lady gave you shivers, what follows might just send you tumbling into a whirlwind of spine-tingling disbelief. Brace yourselves, for the stage is now set for a nightmarish performance captured by the ever-watchful lens of a Trailcam. A creature not of this world or realm emerges from the shadows, a colossal figure, wolf-like in form, but oh so much more. Glowing eyes pierce through the darkness, their radiance reminiscent of moonlight. This entity, this aberration that defies the very fabric of logic, boasts muscles that would make even Schwarzenegger raise an eyebrow. Imagine a wolf sculpted by the hands of a bodybuilder, a creature whose brawn could wrestle with the very essence of fear itself. As if that was not enough, it has a face that strikes terror into the hearts of the stoutest souls. Although we may never experience its bite, it has teeth that appear to be as sharp as a guillotine's blade, and for some odd reason it has eyes locked onto the camera with great, yet fearful intensity. That's certainly no ordinary wolf. I mean, its features look like a splice between human and wolf DNA. The proportions are all wrong. This creature stands defiantly on the outskirts of normalcy, its very size a challenge to reality itself. If you love the paranormal, identifying this shouldn't be too hard. It's definitely a werewolf. But is this image real, though? If there truly is a creature out there that looks like this, well, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. What do you think? Still on the subject of Bigfoot, you might want to see this next footage taken that might just be the most controversial Bigfoot post we have ever made. In the first few seconds of the footage, we see a struggle between whoever is recording and a larger creature. The creature appears ape-like. According to the explorer whose video it is, that was a scuffle between himself and Bigfoot. Sounds wild, right? And there's more to the story. This intrepid explorer claims to have successfully killed the creature. He even provides pictures and, more astonishingly, the corpse's evidence. Let's take a look. Yep, that's Bigfoot according to the explorer. He actually believes and states he killed Bigfoot. If you're struggling to see the Bigfoot in the footage, it might be due to his actions, but let's pause for a moment. What are your thoughts? Could he have indeed met the creature, or is this a made-up story to get famous? Share your thoughts and feelings in the comments section. Still in Mexico, or rather on the waters of Mexico, sea voyagers bear witness to not one, but 5 water spots. These twisting tall columns of wind descend from the clouds to the water, resembling thin, spinning tubes or ropes hanging down from the heavens. They're like mini tornadoes over the water, a natural spectacle that's both fascinating and formidable. While these watery whirlwinds can be a captivating display of nature's forces, it's crucial to approach them with caution. Water spouts, unpredictable by nature, can unleash strong winds and pose a risk, especially for those on boats. A motorbike rider was cruising through a deserted area when he came across this unusual sight, a lifeless goat seated like a human leaning against a pole. Now, this certainly isn't your usual sight, so what could be happening here? Some link it to a dark connection, hinting at a possible involvement in a satanic ritual where symbolism and ritualistic acts are thought to possess mysterious powers. Others connect it to the realm of voodoo, a practice deeply rooted in various cultures that involves manipulating energies and forces. But what or who do you think could have arranged this surreal seating of the goat? Is it dark arts, a venture into the occult, or maybe a mischievous prankster with a theatrical touch? Share your thoughts in the comments. In this video clip, a somewhat congested room is shown. A 4-legged chair suddenly falls to the ground. What truly captures attention in the footage is a toddler sitting in the middle of the room, seemingly engaged in conversation with itself. Initially, it appears that the toddler is the sole presence in the room, but that assumption is quickly challenged when, without any visible cause, the toddler is pushed onto its back with its hands and legs raised high. It's perplexing because there doesn't seem to be anything or anyone in the frame that could have caused this fall. It was no ordinary fall either. The boy was pushed. It must have hurt, as we can hear the child's cries. This unusual occurrence raises questions. Could there be an unseen presence in the room, perhaps a ghost or an evil spirit? Is it possible that this mysterious force is acting out of jealousy? After all, why else would a toddler suddenly be pushed by something invisible to the naked human eye? This scenario is particularly intriguing because the mother believes it's the ghost of her 2 other deceased babies. You see, the baby in the footage was originally part of a set of 3, but the other 2 didn't make it. The mother believes that the other 2 could be attempting to murder the living one. Bizarre, right? But what do you think? Let's pivot back to something rather unsettling. This video comes from a guy who had an unusual encounter one night around 2 a.m. He was fast asleep when some strange sounds outside roused him from his slumber. Feeling a mix of curiosity and apprehension, he stumbled over to his window, parted the blinds, and what he saw defied explanation. Hovering above his car was a figure, a far cry from your everyday human. This mysterious being was draped in a dark, flowing robe with its hair hanging like a veil over its face and down its back. Not a scene from a children's story like Peter Pan, this was something altogether different. As fear and confusion coursed through him, the man instinctively recorded the encounter and shared it online, hoping to get some insights from the internet community. Predictably, opinions ran the gamut. Some folks were quick to label it a hoax, while others ventured into the realms of witches and supernatural entities. But here's the mystery. When you look closer, the reflection of this enigmatic presence can be seen in the car's rearview mirror. It's a hair-raising encounter that makes you question what might be lurking out there beyond your window late at night while you sleep. Next, we visit Florida, where individuals were greeted with an unexpected yet vibrant display in their skies. Take a look.
Look!
Yes, you're seeing right. There appears to be a bright orange light behind the clouds in the sky, and that naturally had the whole place lit orange. Here's the twist. The mysterious glowing ball in the sky isn't just hanging there, it starts moving, making everyone wonder what's going on. As it comes out from behind the clouds, it turns out to be a bright orange orb, and nobody can easily explain it. Some in the paranormal community think it's the government responsible for using their blue beam technology, but that's hard to prove on our side, even though we have our theories. What do you think about the whole thing, though? In this recent video, someone captured a peculiar light bouncing around in the night sky. Some suggest it could be an ether ship plasma energy, evoking thoughts of extraterrestrial phenomena, a mysterious craft navigating the celestial canvas. Skeptics opted for more grounded explanations. Some stated that it might be an unconventional aircraft, atmospheric anomalies, or the interplay of light reflecting off earthly objects. What's your perspective on this cosmic light display? Is it the dance of an ether ship, a celestial energy phenomenon, or is there a more earthly explanation for this captivating show in the night sky? Let's take a break from the scary stuff. This strange sea creature was filmed from South Carolina. It looks like a fish with wings flapping in the water. Well, this is not any kind of unknown species. This is a type of sea slug that's mostly found in fresh water. Take a moment to appreciate the sheer elegance with which this sea slug glides through its underwater realm. It's a vivid reminder that the natural world is a treasure trove of wonders, where even the seemingly ordinary can reveal moments of extraordinary beauty. In the northern part of the Ukraine lies the Tetra River, a picturesque water body surrounded by lush green trees and scattered houses, as depicted in the video clip. Recently, reports have emerged of an unusual creature spotted in this river, sparking curiosity and intrigue among online communities. Witnesses have described it as resembling a reptile with a striking set of spiky teeth in its mouth. Fortunately, though, the footage you are watching serves as one of the first real glimpses of this mysterious creature's existence. The creature primarily appears to be gray in color, with a light yellow shade on its head area. Distinctive crack-like patterns on its skin further set it apart from other enigmatic creatures. This person recorded the video despite being clearly frightened, bravely attempting to interact with the creature by waving a fishing rod near it. During the initial attempt, the creature didn't react. However, undeterred, the recorder cautiously moves the fishing rod closer to the creature, which prompts the mysterious being to turn away and swiftly jump back into the water. This behavior leads to speculation that the creature could possibly be a mutated animal from the Chernobyl disaster. Some don't think so. They think it looks ordinary. The true identity of the creature, however, remains a mystery and has sparked a great deal of speculation and discussion online. Considering your expertise in identifying creatures, we hope one of you can help uncover its identity. Please don't disappoint. UAPs, UFOs, and aliens have become topics that have made their way into mainstream media in recent times. Although there hasn't been any evidence to prove their existence and authenticity, there is a class of people who believe they're real. Now take a look at this footage, for instance. There is what looks like a cloaked craft in the sky, and you can even see the silhouette of someone walking inside. Sometimes light can play tricks on your eyes, so some believe that this is just Fate Morgana, a trick of the light. However, there are some who are convinced that we're looking at a genuine cloaked UAP in the sky. What do you think? Watch this footage closely and tell me where the man in the pink shirt came from. Take a look at the footage again. A man in a pink shirt seemingly materializes out of thin air in front of a woman in a costume. He appears to be filming her, and what's more perplexing, neither the woman nor the people around seem to notice his sudden appearance. Is this a glitch in the Matrix, a momentary rift in the fabric of reality where someone crosses over from the unseen? Share your thoughts. I have had chills, but never have I had chills down my spine like this before. And guess the culprit. The next footage I'm about to show you, the footage was taken by residents of Oregon way back in 2013. From the depths of the woods, a chorus of hysterical laughter echoes through the night, sending shivers down spines and chills through souls. The very air seems to vibrate with the eerie sound, a melody that's both haunting and otherworldly. No one knows what or who was making the sounds, but one dared venture into the woods to find out. Some speculate it could be a hyena, a creature known for its distinctive cackles, but with every passing moment, doubt creeps in. The sheer loudness and persistent nature of the laughter seems to defy any logical explanation. Whatever this entity is, it's not your typical forest dweller. We've been asking you to send in your footage, and one subscriber sent in these odd and enigmatic captures, and they are just the way we like them. Have a look. These captures were taken in the woodlands some time ago. They're oddly intriguing us, making it challenging to determine their nature. In the captures, we see some kind of dark-furred creature moving through the leaves. While the features are different to discern, it's clear that the creature in the footage bears no resemblance to humans or any known wildlife. From the capture, we can tell that whatever it is, assuming it's not a large shadow or simply a function of the camera, is huge. This leads us to consider the intriguing possibility that we might be dealing with a cryptid. And which cryptid fits the bill? Well, you guessed it, Bigfoot. Could this enigmatic figure be Bigfoot? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section.
It literally just happened. There are so many police here now. It's crazy. So these two cars, and they found some of the landing gear over there. They think it was a United 777.
In this parking lot, something fell from the sky, landing on the back of a car and totally crushing its roof. And look at the fence behind as well. It looks bent backwards. Some people said that it was the landing gear of a plane that fell down, but there's no indication of the said object on the scene of the incident. Looking at the condition of the car and the fence, the impact needed to cause this much damage is very huge. Luckily, there was no one in the car and no one was hurt. But still, how did the landing gear just fall off? Now, whenever we leave our homes, we should not only watch out for bad guys and aliens, but also look up in case a landing gear is just heading for our heads. This is definitely too weird to be a coincidence. Someone spotted these two strange white cats looking at him while he was filming. One was sitting behind the other, its head right above the one in front of it. Both were staring so intently at the camera, which he found odd and strange. Not long after, another white cat, identical to the two, came and sat in front of the two with its head positioned beneath the one behind it. All three cats just sitting and watching the camera with an eerie look in strange alignment. What do you think could be going on here? Is it just a coincidence that three white cats decided to ogle a person, or is there something else behind this incident? Perhaps a glitch in the Matrix or some sort of omen. As a hiker ventured along his well-trodden path, a desire to capture its enchanting allure urged him to wield his camera, immortalizing each fleeting moment. Let's take a look at what he captures. Entering a remote stretch of the trail, a small rapid graces his path. Swiftly zooming in with his camera, he pauses, captivated by the serenity of the scene. Regrettably, this tranquil interlude is abruptly shattered. A growing unease takes hold, gnawing at him without a clear cause. Resolute but puzzled, he chooses to retrace his steps. The further he ventures into the woods, the more unsettling the occurrence has become, prompting his steps to hasten. An eerie symphony envelops him, whispering secrets only the forest knows. Swiftly he turns, only to find that the rabbit, phantom or reality, has vanished without a trace. Amid the disquiet, a faint voice emerges from the depths of the woods, a mere whisper of, "Hi there," or perhaps my senses deceive me. Soon, however, the whispers morph into what seems like a woman's voice.
He was right
The sounds, however, are far from comforting. They carry an eerie and distressing tone. Scared, he quickly runs out of the place and posts this online, asking for input and help on what he may have seen. While he and many who viewed the footage believe this quick departure may have saved his own life, a user in the original post proposed an unsettling theory. They suggested the voice sounded like that of a woman who had been gagged, pleading for help. They believe he had the opportunity to save someone who'd been kidnapped or someone who was being trafficked. Watching it on repeat again, I'm tempted to agree with the second person. What do you personally think? Stepping away from the mysterious, let's look at something humorous. Have you ever seen a bear scratch itself? Watch this footage. Given that they don't have arms or the flexibility we do, they have to count on external means to scratch their backs. Most bears also live alone, leaving them with no assistance. During such times, trees become their best companions. And let's be honest, when you add music to the mix, their back scratching resembles a dance. Have you ever seen a bear do this in real life? Tell us in the comments section. Still on floating objects, this strange object was found floating in the sky in France, Paris to be specific. It's a vertical black rectangle. As theory started swirling, some believe it could be the crafty work of artificial intelligence, a digital apparition painted onto the sky. Others with eyes to the extraterrestrial entertain the notion that it might be something alien, perhaps a cosmic visitor making a statement. What's your take on this avant-garde Parisian spectacle, a creation of AI artistry, or a sign of something beyond our earthly comprehension? If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more of these videos for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. Take a journey into the heart of the city, deep underground, where a network of ossuaries hold the remains of around 6 to 7 million people. The footage shows an eerie scene of human skeletons arranged in a meticulous pattern. Back in the 18th century, these catacombs were made to keep the remains of the dead because there was not enough space for burial grounds. The bones of millions were carefully moved underground, creating a surreal space where the deceased could rest in a new way. Is this a place you'd visit? I don't know about you, but I doubt I can bring myself to do this. Some even speculate that it was not a burial place, but a place where large-scale murders were carried out. What do you think, though? What do you think that creature is? It's hard to tell, isn't it? Despite living with their wildlife, the uploader of the footage is very unsure what this creature his security cam captured. He's leaning toward the possibility of it being a skunk, and I can understand why. But then again, the unconventional characteristics of the creature make him believe he could actually be dealing with something else. What do you think? This recording captures a vast expanse of land covered in tall grass where several individuals engage in a mysterious activity. 4 individuals, clad in white protective gear, are meticulously examining and working on a discovery. Meanwhile, 2 others, donned in lemon green protective attire, stand beside a stretcher awaiting the actions of the first group. It's not known who exactly they are or what exactly they are doing, but one thing's certain. They discovered something new, and whatever it is, it's dangerous, necessitating the gear. Simultaneously, the individuals in white protective gear lift a creature from the ground, seemingly possessing a long fish-like tail, and place it on the stretcher. The other 2 ensure that the stretcher is positioned securely, preparing for the creature's transfer. The creature's identity remains obscure as the recorder's sole attempt to record this appears too far, even as the scientists step away from the stretcher. This raises the question, how perilous is it to have direct contact with this creature? What necessitates such elaborate protective gear in this remote location? Could it be an alien, a cryptid? Has a lab experiment gone wrong? Escapees from Area 51? The mind can't help but roam in a bid to find an answer to this enchanting enigma. But what do you guys think we're dealing with here? Tell us in the comments section.
This is the track we're talking about here.
Locals in a quiet rural area stumble upon a giant footprint in the mud, and it's no ordinary print. This footprint, etched in the earth, reveals the distinct features of a Bigfoot track, massive in size with toes clearly imprinted in the mud.
Yeah, we was noticing the toenail marks on here, as you can see in the camera here. Yeah, right in that area right there.
Could this be evidence of the elusive Bigfoot roaming the rural landscape, leaving its mark in the mud? Some do think so, but what do you think? Would you look at that? On a talk show, the world's tallest man, Kozin, and the smallest woman, Amj, were the guests.
How are you?
Sultan Kozin from Turkey is the Guinness World Record holder for being the tallest living man. He owes his towering height to acromegaly, a condition caused by the excessive production of growth hormones. And then there is Jyoti Amj from India, who holds the record for the smallest woman. Her petite stature is due to a type of primordial dwarfism, a condition marked by significantly smaller size. Just look at the height difference. I mean, this is incredible. They make the most of their conditions. Hopefully, this steers the disability conversation toward a positive light. This next footage was taken by a lady who spotted a strange woman standing in a lake at the New Jersey State Park. The woman was dressed in all white with dark flowing hair. The ladies who spotted this strange scene were not sure if the woman was a ghost or just some weird woman. The footage, however, reminds me of the earlier footage involving the group who saw the woman by the dried river who screamed at them. I don't know what it is with these strange women standing in water bodies, but tales like these have a way of echoing through the corridors of time. This brings to mind the legend of La Llorona, the Weeping Woman. A story steeped in tragedy hails from the rich tapestry of Mexican folklore. The chilling tale speaks of a Spanish woman who, in a fit of madness, drowned her children in the river. Since that fateful day, it's said her restless spirit haunts water bodies, perpetually searching for her lost offspring. This tale hailed from Mexico and has been passed on for centuries. Do you think this is La Llorona, or someone else entirely? Share your thoughts with me in the comments section. If you've made it this far and haven't hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, you could do that before we go on. Thank you very much, because it means a lot. Coming back to the episode. Now, this is something I would not like to see when I retrieve my Trailcam. Trailcams have captured their fair share of peculiar things, but what was found on this occasion defies both words and description. This hideous being was captured on a Trailcam. The creature appears to possess a head and body uncannily reminiscent of the bark of a tree or maybe a hair. The picture's a little blurry, so it's hard to make out its facial features. However, there seems to be what looks like a nose and two hollows on the head that resemble eyes. This creature isn't a tree, especially when compared to the natural trees in the background. So what could it be? Do you think we're looking at a possessed tree come to life or something far worse? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Millions of fish are washing up on the shores of Hakodate, Japan, and people are getting worried. Quite recently, there was news about releasing radioactive waste from a nuclear power plant in Japan into the ocean. This has led people speculating and wondering if there is any connection between this and the release of radioactive waste. There are some groups of people who hold a more religious explanation for this fish situation. They believe that this might be a sign of the end of times, as per prophecies in their religions. What do you think? While driving through a deserted land in the middle of nowhere at night, a man came across this, a burning humanoid figure coming from the shadows walking along the path. As if the scene wasn't eerie enough, local stories add another layer to this mystery. People in the area tell tales of a flaming witch. By that, I mean a ghostly figure known to roam the land covered in flames. But those aren't real, right? Or are they? Well, you've seen the footage yourselves. Please share your thoughts and experiences, if any. I'm particularly interested in the experience, or this one. Two of my favorite words I would never thought I'd see together, a river and a wolf. But here I am about to show you footage of a river wolf. If my intro had you thinking we were going to see a giant canine with webbed feet, etc., well, I apologize. But you have to agree the creature on your screen is quite the specimen. What you see on your screen is none other than the giant otter. Believe it or not, that creature is considered an apex predator in its region in the Amazon rainforest. It's capable of growing up to the length of 6 feet. It's a skilled hunter that's even capable of hunting down juvenile caimans. While smaller than alligators and crocodiles, caimans are no pushovers, and the fact that these creatures are capable of hunting them down makes them intriguing and dangerous at the same time. Have you ever encountered one of these creatures? Let us know in the comments section. The uploader of this next footage is believed to have caught and recorded a Bigfoot. The footage was taken on a mountain in Indonesia. Have a look. You can see a huge creature walking across the field under the waterfall. The creature appears to be furry and bipedal. Looking at the distance and the size, this creature must be really big for it to be seen so clearly in the woods. This ruled out any speculations of it being an ape. A part of me believes this is the real deal, but I doubt a random person would be walking through the woods in the mountains wearing a Bigfoot costume. The heat and dangers alone make it an unpleasant decision to make. But then again, humans are just full of surprises. You never know. Until a human is caught in those woods in a Bigfoot costume, I believe we have a Bigfoot sighting deep in the woods of the mountains in Indonesia. Amazing, isn't it? Check this out. A guy's normal drive turns into a surprise after he stops at a red light. A little creature, about 2 feet tall, zooms across the street super fast. At first, you might think it's just a stray animal common in cities, but a closer look at the video and you'll see that the creature appears to be walking on 2 legs, so definitely not your regular 4-legged animal. Now the big question is, what is this 2-legged thing? My mind naturally thought of a tiny monkey, but the uploader says there's none in the area. He suspects it's a paranormal creature, and given the circumstances, well, you can't fault him for thinking that way. But do tell me, what do you see when you look at the creature? And what do you think it was doing out there at that time of night? Now, what do we have here? This strange creature was found floating in the sea by some fisher folks. Despite their experience at sea, they claim that they've never seen anything like this. It had 2 humanoid heads and the rest of its body looked like it was made of tentacles. But then again, it looked nothing like an octopus. Naturally, they uploaded this online and it spread like wildfire since. Some think we might be dealing with a sea monster with 2 heads, whilst some are wondering if it's a sea monster we're yet to document. Julius believes there must be a logical explanation to this, whilst Aaron thinks it's a sign we have been judged by the sea gods. What's your take on this? Would you go out of your house to take a good look at an animal that was roaming around your property late at night? Well, not me, but the one in the footage I'm about to show you did, and you wouldn't believe what happened. Have a look. In the footage, you see him looking around the property, but look as he would, he sees nothing and no one. After a few seconds, however, he hears movement in his house, looks through the window, and hears someone inside. He immediately rushes in, trying to find whatever was in the room. He went through the various rooms and saw nothing. How's that possible? Well, we don't know, but if I were him, I'd be extra careful on that property and watch my back at all times. Whilst the last capture left a lot of room for speculation due to its blurriness, this image is crystal clear and, quite frankly, more unsettling. Here we encounter another tree, but this one is considerably scarier than the previous one. This peculiar tree seems to have a face, and it's not a friendly one. At the top, you can't help but notice a pair of enormous holes resembling eyes. Right beneath that, there's something that eerily resembles a nose, and beneath that, a gaping void that can only be described as a wide-open, terrifying mouth. What's even more spine-chilling is the layer beneath the mouth, which eerily resembles teeth. This tree appears as if it's screaming in agony, frozen in a macabre moment of anguish. But before we jump to supernatural conclusions, it's important to consider a psychological phenomenon known as pareidolia. Humans tend to perceive familiar faces in unrelated objects, like spotting shapes in the clouds. So in all likelihood, this is just a regular tree, albeit one that triggers our innate ability to find faces in the most unexpected places. Rest assured, this tree is not a creature of the night. It's just another intriguing facet of the mysterious natural world we share our planet with. Or is it? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Ever heard the statement, vanished into thin air? Well, this next clip takes it literally. Did you see that? The man was there and walking, and then he wasn't. Could this be a glitch in the Matrix, or are we simply looking at a ghost or otherworldly being simply moving in and out of our plane? Share your thoughts. Have you ever met people and thought they couldn't be real? If you have, then this clip is for you.
Wait. Babe, stop cussing. Wait, she's not moving at all.
That's what I'm saying. What is going on?
You see it, don't you? That woman appears to be frozen in time, yet everything else around her appears to be moving. It's almost as though she were glitching. The people filming are shocked, and there are some who see her in the parking lot that are equally concerned. This has to be a glitch in the Matrix. There's definitely no other explanation for this, is there?
What is she looking at?
What is she doing?
That's actually really concerning.
I don't know what's going on.
Now, when we saw this footage, our first question was, what is this? After watching a few more times, we still realized we didn't know what we were looking at. At first glance, the creature looks like a humanoid creature with short legs squirming in the hands of a man. That's at least until he turned it around and revealed that the creature was actually flatter and smaller than initially thought. At this point, it started looking like a sponge-like creature. But how is that even possible? Well, I don't know, but this creature was caught in one of the water bodies of China. Has anyone here encountered any creature like this? Do you know what it is? If you do, please enlighten us in the comments because we're dying to know. Literally. For our next Trailcam capture, we moved to the Amazon, where this weird and quite frankly scary picture of a beast was captured. Behold, the horned beast of Baja. If you're unfamiliar with this cryptid, don't worry, we were too. It's quite surprising to discover that such a creature resides in the Amazon. Never did it ever cross our minds to check if the Amazon had any cryptids living in there, but there are apparently a number of them, and the creature on your screens currently is all but one of these creatures. According to the person who uploaded this image online, it's the clearest photo of the mysterious horned beast. It was taken back in 2007 by an American teen exploring the area. The young boy believed he'd seen a demon carrying a baby, but all who knew the legends of the horned beast dispelled his fears and told him it was a dangerous cryptid that roamed the area, adding that he was lucky to have escaped with his life. Basically, not many meet the horned beast of Baja and come out of the experience alive. That makes this photo all the more rare. Did you see that? Tell me what you saw. In fact, let's watch in slow-mo. You see it, don't you? It looks like something suddenly dropped from the sky at a high speed and power. The red hue we see appears to be nothing more than an afterglow after whatever it was that was suddenly dropped. That has us wondering, what is it that was dropped from the sky and why was it dropped? It also has you wondering who sent it and for what purpose. That's, of course, assuming the clip is legit and everything that happened in it represents true events. Half of my team think it's real, while the other half think it's CGI. Could you share your opinion so you can break this tie? That way we can finally have a conclusive answer on the authenticity of this footage. We sometimes like to think we've figured it all out when it comes to dinosaurs, but discoveries made on a daily basis make it clear that we don't know as much as we think we do.
They just found unfossilized soft dinosaur tissue. Soft dinosaur tissue?
What you're seeing on your screen is soft dinosaur tissue, and this shouldn't be possible. Dinosaurs have been extinct for millions of years, which makes it impossible for any tissue related to them to exist. Yet here it is. Fossilized dinosaur skin was discovered 20 years ago, and it's thrown the scientific community out of sync. The assumption is that dinosaurs existed about 70 million years ago. No tissue should be capable of surviving that long, unless, of course, these dinosaurs lived more recently than we've thought and accepted. That, however, is a hypothesis scientists are not willing to accept. Instead, they're trying to find out how tissue could be preserved for so long. While I understand what they're doing, they're avoiding the obvious facts. Cave paintings of some ancient civilizations have paintings of dinosaurs as well. Some of these paintings are detailed. This has led some to hypothesize that they must have seen the dinosaurs themselves and made these paintings. What's more, the concept of dinosaurs confuses some Christians because there's no mention of them in the scriptures, but the term dinosaur didn't exist until the 1800s. People called them dragons up until that point, and the Bible doesn't mention such creatures. Moving beyond Christianity to the cradle of all civilization, Egypt, we find that some of their most ancient potteries include long-necked dragons. They're not the only ones, though. You see similarities in ancient mosaics from the Romans. Even some coins from the 1500s and 1600s show an individual slaying a dragon. Should you visit the Grand Canyon, you'll also notice that the Indians carved dinosaurs into the caves. While our scientists have always told us that the dinosaurs existed millions of years ago, it doesn't make sense that cultures from around the globe have vivid depictions of them, unless, of course, there's something that we're missing. Either way, what do you think of the whole thing? Do you think our scientists are mistaken, or are we stretching this a tad too much? Did that scare you? Well, if it did, I won't be surprised. The creature looks like something straight out of a nightmare, and it has limbs that don't quite make sense. The video is blurry, hence we can't say much, but it might have scales for skin and generally have a fish-like appearance. These guesses are based on the description of the uploader, who called the creature a toil. For those unfamiliar with it, it's a supernatural creature or spirit found in the Southeast Asian folklore, particularly in Malay, Indonesian, and Thai cultures. It's often described as a mischievous and malevolent creature that's associated with black magic and the occult. It's commonly depicted as a grotesque or deformed fetus-like creature. It's typically very small in size, resembling an infant or a small child. Here's the twist. It's believed to have the power to bring wealth and good fortune to its owner if treated well, but it can also bring misfortune if mistreated. Most often, however, it carries out the wishes of a master, which leaves us wondering, did someone intentionally send the creature after the family? If they did, why? Why would you do such a thing? Think that was bizarre? Take a look at this next footage. In the footage, we see a young biker riding through what looks like the countryside, but if you look closely at the footage, something eerie unfolds in the background. A tall, slender figure moving through the grass. If you pay attention to the height of the creature in relation to the rest of the environment, then you can tell that the creature is very, very tall, maybe 8 feet or more. But what creature is it? As the footage circulated, it sent chills down the spines of those who believed they had spotted the infamous Slender Man. This footage was captured somewhere in the UK, and the uploader had set up cams to film himself on his new bike. What he didn't expect to see is the creature you can see in the background. He explained that a passing driver had alerted him to the presence of a strange humanoid creature in the area. At first, he dismissed it as something unbelievable. However, his skepticism would soon give way to something else as he reviewed the footage during the editing process. Looking at the footage, I'm really glad that he was really that far from the creature. Who knows what could have happened to him if he met the creature face to face. Now, this is a disclaimer. This next one is grotesque. If you think you can't handle graphic things, you might want to skip ahead a few seconds.
Just came out of me. I have no fucking clue what the fuck this is, but it kind of looks like a...
What you're seeing came out of the woman's recording. Don't ask me where it came from or how it did. Just accept the fact that it did. Naturally, she's freaking out, which made her post it online.
This is what the fuck is inside of us, and we need to fucking cleanse. You guys don't fucking believe me? This shit is fucking real. These are nano fucking...
She ends up ranting about how we have these things living inside us. If you ask me, it looks like the thing that came out of Neo's stomach in the Matrix. Is this the evidence we need to prove we're living in the Matrix? A part of me wanted to think so, but our medical experts were not enthused. Instead, they were worried. Others were weirded out that she would post something like this. Frankly, I am a little as well, but what do you guys think of the whole thing? Could this be a parasite in her, relation to the Matrix, or something else entirely? Share your thoughts. I know we've seen some pretty strange things on this channel, but I'm not sure how I feel about this.
What's going on here, bro? Yo, look all the people down there, look, just watching my...
Imagine being at sea and seeing a bright green glow coming from beneath it. Gives you alien vibes, does it not? My team and I started digging around, trying to find out what this might be. Much to our disappointment, we found nothing until one person mentioned we had seen something like this recently. There was another clip that had a humanoid creature in the water with a bluish-green glow around it. We tried to find the clip, but haven't had much luck. If this clip and the one I'm referencing are related, then we can say with certainty that we've got an alien situation on our hands. If that's the case, where did they come from, and why are they here? Many in the paranormal community shared similar views as ours until a sect of the community introduced the theory of bioluminescence. If that were true, however, the glow would move with the waves and not be stationary in it. The way it's positioned in the water, however, proves that there has to be a large object or perhaps alien craft responsible for the glow. But then again, I could be wrong. Perhaps this is the part of me that's obsessed with aliens talking. You've seen the clip too. What do you think? Still on ancient creatures, we have another footage that's sure to blow you away. Have you ever heard of the alligator snapping turtle? Well, if you haven't, today's your lucky day. You get to not only see one of these magnificent creatures, but actually see someone holding one in his hands. Before you tell yourself that's no feat, know that these prehistoric-looking creatures are known for their impressive size, with males typically reaching lengths of 13 to 20 inches and sometimes even larger. Aside from its length, they can weigh anywhere from 150 to 250 pounds or even more, making them one of the heaviest freshwater turtle species. If that does not impress you, know that these animals are known to have quite a powerful bite. Knowing this, it's shocking to see someone actually carrying and manhandling one. Whatever you do, please don't do what this man is doing in the footage, even if it looks very cool and, quite frankly, very manly. In a rather unsettling discovery, a doll was stumbled upon in the depths of a river. But this wasn't just any doll, it bore an uncanny resemblance to a human. The doll's features are chillingly realistic. Its skin is eerily pale, swathed in a dark shroud. Its eyes, wide open, seem to pierce through the observer, while blood-red lips hint at something far more sinister. The image is further intensified by what appears to be blood oozing from the corner of its mouth. While most would initially mistake this for a real-life horror scene, it's indeed just a doll, albeit one that raises a myriad of questions. How did it end up in the river? Who created it, and for what purpose? The answers remain elusive, shrouding this eerie discovery in an air of mystery. What's your take on this enigmatic doll? Still on ancient beings that might be real, what are your thoughts on the Dogman? In fact, before I say any more, do take a look at this clip. In the clip, we see what looks humanoid and a monstrous dog engaging in some adventures. The clip appears to have been taken at night, but the location isn't revealed. Given the nature of the creature, the first thing that comes to mind is a Dogman. Maybe it should have been a black bear, but I doubt that that thing is a bear in any way. Speaking of the Dogman, it's supposed to be the more aggressive cryptid, but I don't see any aggression here. That has me wondering, what exactly is going on here? Some of my team members believe the whole thing is a hoax. They think that that might be a man in a suit being filmed by his friends trying to get their 5 minutes of fame. I'm tempted to accept their theory. I visited the original post online, and surely people thought the same. One person even sarcastically and funnily stated that it was a Chinese experiment gone wrong. Others just laughed. What about you? What do you think? Do you think the toothpaste companies are intentionally ripping us off and giving us cavities? Well, the man in our next clip seems to think so.
I have not brushed my teeth since I was 8 years old. Oh yeah, I'm 62 years old and I got every one of them, never had a cavity, and I've never had any problems with them. Go figure that one out.
8 years old?
No, I just do hydrogen peroxide.
You gotta start with that.
No, the reason why, go on a YouTube video and watch if you put Crest on a toothbrush, okay? Take that same toothbrush on a rusted chrome bumper and watch it just take all the rust right off the bumper. Now that's the same thing that you're cleaning your teeth with. What you're doing is you're withdrawing the enamel. In other words, you're taking the enamel, the protection off your teeth when you brush. Why? Why?
According to him, he's not brushed his teeth since he was 8 years old and has some of the healthiest and perfect teeth out there. He uses hydrogen peroxide when necessary. He adds that the paste we use in brushing our teeth is capable of cleaning rust off of a surface. Such products should not be used on our teeth, as they basically have the same effect on our teeth and gums. He starts making reference to ancient characters who lived and had healthier lives without using the things we're using today. Many in the comments section agreed with him, including this guy. This has me thinking, could they be right? Are we actually damaging our teeth by thinking we're cleaning them? Please share your thoughts.
Why? What did Moses use soap when he was? Did Jesus? Did any of them? They lived 400. Moses lived 400 years. He did something right.
In this next clip, a man takes out a small black stone and places it on his glass counter. Suddenly, the stone starts to vibrate vigorously. It's quite a sight. When you look around, it seems the shop is a place that sells pearls, stones, and what looks like beads. Now, we know information on where this particular black stone is from, but the bigger question is, how and why is it vibrating like this? It's fascinating to think about. What kind of stone behaves this way? Is there something special about its composition, or is there an unseen force at work? Some people speculate that it's a trick, or that there's something hidden under the counter causing the vibration. Others wonder if the stone has some unique properties or energy that we don't fully understand. What do you think? Is there a scientific explanation for the vibrating stone, or could it be something more mysterious? A man was out at American Fork Canyon when he saw something moving among the trees. At first, he thought it was a moose or an elk, but as he got closer and took a better look, he realized something was off. As soon as he noticed it, he took off running, and you can see it all in the footage. Let's zoom in and take a closer look at the creature. Right there, standing on two legs, almost cloaked by the dense forest, you can see the outline of a hairy creature. that's no moose or elk. It's very obvious what we're looking at here. A Bigfoot. The creature is upright with a distinct humanoid shape covered in thick fur. The way it moves and stands is unlike any known animal in the area. Imagine being in his shoes, out for a peaceful hike and suddenly spotting this mysterious figure. Your heart would start racing, and you'd probably question if your eyes were playing tricks on you. But the footage doesn't lie. There's something there. People have been reporting sightings of Bigfoot for decades, and yet each new piece of evidence brings fresh excitement and skepticism. Is this the proof we've been waiting for, or is this just another hoax? During an exploration of an abandoned house, a man stumbled upon this unusual sight. As he peered into a small crevice in the wall, his gaze was met with an eerie-looking eye staring back at him. The eye was human-like in appearance, but its yellowish sclera and black fur-like skin surrounding the eye gave it an unsettling appearance. The man couldn't determine whether this was a cryptid or something else entirely, but he was too afraid to investigate further, so he left and shared his footage online. A number of people think it's a cat, but what do you think it could be? Next, we visit the quiet city of Corico in Chile. Before I say anything, take a look. What do you think this is? Truth is, no one truly knows. It just appeared in the sky out of nowhere and remained there for minutes. I combed the internet searching for answers but found none. The clip had been posted several times by different people on our paranormal platforms seeking answers, and I came across a comment that caught my attention. The individual commenting states that such occurrences and sightings are not new to Corico. He even adds that there have been instances where people have been captured and tortured by aliens. This is the first time I'm hearing this, and it's got me wondering, how true is this? And if it's true, how many other places around the globe are active alien spots? Perhaps we need to start sampling more clips from other continents like Asia, Africa, and even Australia. About the object in the sky, though, no one could tell what we were looking at. Some even concluded it had to be a hoax, but what do you guys think? Someone captured this bizarre sight from across the street, a long pinkish creature sticking out of a hole in the wall. The creature's appearance is strange and unsettling. It looks like a type of tongue or tentacle, but it has a smoother texture, almost like it's covered in some sort of shiny synthetic material. As you watch the footage, you can't help but notice the way it moves. The motion is almost too smooth and too fluid, giving it an unnatural, eerie quality. The creature wriggles and undulates in a way that seems more like something you'd see in a special effects movie than in real life. This brings up an interesting question. Is this creature real, or is it a product of CGI? While the previous script might have been scary, this next one would have you scratching your head. As you can see, it's a night out on the streets. Everyone appears to be having fun with people cheering and laughing. A man was recording the whole thing, and he ended up recording more than he had initially planned. While reviewing the footage, he noticed something rather bizarre occurring that evening. A man suddenly emerged from between two moving trucks in the middle of the road. He just nonchalantly walked off the road like nothing had happened, completely unfazed. It was as if he'd appeared out of thin air. The craziest part is that the person filming didn't notice this at the time, since he seemingly blended in with everyone and everything happening. This mysterious appearance had raised all sorts of speculations. Could this be evidence of time travelers living among us, just moved through time to get there? Or is there a better explanation for it? Share your thoughts.
Puta, ese hueputa en medio había quedado.
Next, we visit North Carolina, where a man allegedly spotted a heavenly cloud in the sky. Take a look. He called it a heavenly cloud, not me. Naturally, once it went live, everyone had their reservations about what it could be. Some agreed with him that it could have been divine origins, while others thought that the unusual cloud formation could be alien-related. Looking at it, I think there's a possibility it's just a cloud, but perhaps that's just my untrained eye. What do you guys think? Watch this and see if you notice anything strange. Did you see it? Yes. What do you think you saw exactly? The original poster thinks that some sort of demonic or spiritual entity floated upwards, and once it was out of view, a dark winged being came out of nowhere and moved across the sky. The person suspected that the thing that moved across the screen might have transformed. He was also open to the idea that it might have been taken by something more sinister. I must say, when I read the caption of the original post, I found it intriguing, but the more I watched the clip, the more I felt like these spiritual entities were nothing more than animals. If you were to ask me what I thought, I would say a cat ran across the street, climbed up some bushes, and then ended up scaring an owl or some other night bird that was perched at the top. The startled owl or bird then flew away to avoid the cat. This looks like the more plausible explanation to me, but many think we're dealing with demonic beings instead. What about you? What do you think? Every single day, we discover something new and fascinating in the natural world. Recently, scientists have identified a new addition to the already vast number of worm species out there. This little guy has some unique and rather intriguing features. One of the most remarkable aspects of this worm is its ability to fold its face into its body. Imagine that. Its face just tucks away neatly, almost like it's hiding a secret. And when it unfolds its face, it reveals something truly unexpected: 2 black claws. These claws are positioned right on its face, giving it an almost menacing appearance. I wonder what those claws are for. They look like they could cause some serious damage, especially if this worm felt threatened or needed to defend itself. I know the bonus segment came earlier, but I want to see those who know their worms on this platform. There's a rather popular species of worms that this looks like. Does any of you know? In fact, they look so alike that many on our platforms feel it's the same worm. I want to hear the thoughts of those who know it as well. A woman was stuck in traffic, tapping her fingers impatiently on the steering wheel. Typical rush hour, she thought. But then something caught her eye in the lane next to her that made her look twice.
I don't even know what happened. I think the wind took it, but...
The car in the other lane wasn't just stuck in traffic, it was stuck in mid-air. It was standing vertically on its back tires, suspended like someone had pressed the pause button in reality. The front of the car pointed straight up toward the sky, defying all logic and gravity. Many who saw this thought it was the final evidence needed to prove that we are indeed living in a simulation where glitches do happen. Others thought it was just a well-edited clip. In my experience, things aren't always what they seem, or do not seem. Either way, what do you guys think? Glitch or lies? Let us know in the comments section.
I don't even know what happened. I think the wind took it. But
in the year 2015, a family from Oregon went on a leisurely walk and took some pictures of the trees in their vicinity. Upon returning home, they reviewed the footage that they'd captured only to notice something peculiar in one of the photographs. In the photo they had taken of their little daughter, they noticed a figure standing over her. However, this figure was not visible to the naked eye, as it was seemingly covered in a cloak from head to toe and appeared completely transparent. It was not a solid or visible entity, but rather a ghostly apparition that one could see through. The eeriest part was that their daughter had also noticed the figure, and in the image, you could see her standing and staring upward at the head of the entity. The family was left curious about what this entity could be. Was it a ghostly companion of some sort, or was there something else to this image? This was supposed to be your normal everyday weather forecast, but instead something strange popped up on the screen. Take a second look. Do you see it? What do you think this could be? Some think it's a bird, but I doubt birds can move that fast in the angles whatever it is on our screen was moving. Some in the comments section stated it was a Dementor from Harry Potter, while others also thought it was a glitch in the Matrix. Someone even added he had seen such things at least twice. I have my reservations about it, but I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. What do you guys see when you look at this? Please share your thoughts. What would you do if you suspected your wife was trying to kill you? Well, this next clip isn't our usual, but it's a classified capture worth sharing. Robbie, the man in question, had a nightly routine. He would prep his coffee in the coffee maker before going to bed, so it was ready to go in the morning. But something strange was happening. As you can see in the footage, his wife Melody would sneak into the kitchen early in the morning, look around suspiciously, grab something from behind the counter, and pour it in the coffee grounds. Typically, Robbie will just mix his coffee with no problem and go about his day. In recent times, however, Robbie had become suspicious. He noticed something off about his coffee. When he cleaned out the coffee maker, he found it was unusually foamy. Sometimes he even smelled bleach coming from it. Since then, he only pretended to drink it, secretly collecting more evidence. This went on for a while, with Robbie playing along to ensure he had enough proof. After he gathered enough evidence, Robbie went to the police. Melody was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Can you imagine living with someone you love only to find out that they're trying to kill you? It's chilling. Thankfully, Robbie's quick thinking and determination helped him uncover the truth and protect himself. It's a good thing he figured it out now before he became a ghost that wouldn't leave his apartment. These are some of the reasons why people are always on edge when the theory of governments hiding things from us comes up. Take a look at this strange footage recorded over Larsen Bay, Alaska. Did you see it when the slow-mo came? That was a large, round, planet-like object seen moving in the sky. According to reports, the footage was taken on a live stream, and after it aired, it was quickly taken down by authorities. Many took that to mean that the clip was legitimate. But if the clip is truly legitimate, then just what are we looking at here? Some individuals on the paranormal platform believe it was Nibiru, the mythical rogue planet. Others mention the Death Star straight out of Star Wars. Not everyone is convinced, though. One skeptic suggested it was just a lens flare, an optical illusion caused by the camera. On a normal day, I would jump onto that bandwagon, but the removal of the footage by the FAA only fuels the fire and doubt of all who saw it. Why would they take it down if there was nothing to hide? It's actions like these that make people suspicious and keep conspiracy theories alive. What do you think? Have you ever taken a closer look at the hieroglyphics and paintings of ancient Egyptians? Well, if you have, then you might have noticed some peculiar drawings of saucer-shaped objects. These drawings have been the subject of much debate among researchers and enthusiasts alike. Some people believe that these drawings are evidence of the presence of extraterrestrial beings in ancient Egypt, while others think that they're simply symbolic representations of religious or spiritual beliefs. However, some argue that these drawings are proof that the ancient Egyptians have access to advanced technology or are visited by crafts of some sort. If this is true, then it would suggest that the ancient Egyptians were far more advanced than we previously thought. Some researchers have even suggested that the ancient Egyptians may have had access to some form of anti-gravity technology, which would explain how they were able to construct such massive structures at the pyramid. Of course, there is no concrete evidence to support any of these claims, and the true meaning of these drawings remain a mystery. Nonetheless, it's fascinating to consider the possibility that the ancient Egyptians were far more advanced than we ever imagined, don't you think? I know how you guys hate all things blurry, and I hate them too, but I had to share this one. These photos were taken by Sam Jacobs while he and his girlfriend were out playing the game Pokemon Go in August of 2016. The two were walking between Loveland Madeira Road and Lake Isabella in Loveland, Ohio, when they spotted the creature. Jacobs claims that this creature is what is known as the Loveland Frogman. He's very adamant about what he saw, though many claim it to be a hoax. He estimates the being stood at least 4 feet tall. Jacobs wrote in an email about his sighting. I realize this sounds crazy, but I swear on my grandmother's grave this is the truth. An interesting account if true. What do you think, though? Shapeshifters are creatures that can take the form of anything. They're mostly mystical creatures, but this footage right here might make you think otherwise. At what looks like some sort of corporate event, you can see a woman in black hugging a man in blue. As soon as they part from the hug, something incredible happens. Did you see it? Let's take another look and focus closely on the woman. There it is. The woman shapeshifts into a man. Just look at how her face distorts before finally settling into the form of a man. It's very chilling to watch. The transformation looks too real to be fake, leaving many people stunned. How could something like this be possible? As usual, opinions are divided on this. Some think the clip is genuine and it shows a part of society that's typically hidden from us, whereas others think it's a cleverly edited clip meant to offset and trick the masses. You've seen it. What do you think? This next one is one that had all the men in our studio squirming. We're not sure what the exact backstory is, but the one who sent us the clip states that while working at a site, a construction worker found a small building where he decided to spend the night. He didn't have much in the way of comfort, so he slept on the concrete floor with some bed sheets to combat the cold and discomfort. As he fell asleep, he felt something slithering into his shorts. It was not the warmth of a female human, but something else. Even if it were female, this felt scaly and rough. He looked and then discovered that there was a snake taking comfort in his shorts. I mean, it was a cold night after all. Despite being terrified and scared of getting bitten, he somehow managed to stay completely still and called emergency services. Somehow, he and his new occupant managed to wait for help until it arrived. The minutes must have felt like hours. When the emergency team finally came, they had to be extremely careful not to startle the snake. With incredible precision and patience, they managed to get the snake out of his shorts without it biting him. And the good news is, they got the right snake, if you know what I mean. No matter how you look at it, that was a close one. Just thinking about it gives me chills. Can you imagine being in that situation, trying to stay as still as possible while a snake is literally in your shorts? It's the stuff of nightmares and brings tears to my eyes. What would you have done in his place? Have you ever had one of those situations where you wished you had more security cams so you could see different angles of something that visited your yard? Well, this is one of those situations. This clip was captured by a home security camera, and even if you're no expert, you can tell that whatever it is, it's pretty short, not just by a little bit, but by a lot. Are there any creatures that fit this bill? Ever heard of the duende? They're sometimes referred to as forest dwellers and are considered small humanoid beings. Just like many of the other cryptids we've discussed on the channel, these creatures are hardly seen, and whenever someone believes they've captured one, their claims are met with skepticism. Looking at this clip, I'm tempted to believe that this is the real thing. The footage looks authentic and does not seem altered in any way. What would have added to the authenticity of the whole thing would have been a capture from another angle. But if wishes were horses, beggars would ride, right? Anyway, let me know what you think about this one in the comments section. Am I the only one who has random thoughts sometimes? By random, I mean things like wondering what death by fishes or ants would feel like. It turns out there's a place where death by fish could be as simple as breathing. See how the fish quickly gather around what the man threw into the ocean and gulp it up within a few seconds. There's no guarantee that these things will eat human meat, but there's also no guarantee they won't. The last thing you would want is to fall into those waters. I mean, if the fish don't get you, those waters look like they could finish the job. Am I just being paranoid, or do you see what I'm seeing? This next footage comes from Vietnam, and it's downright eerie. A woman stepped outside to turn on the porch lights to brighten up the house since it was dark. Just then, the home security camera catches something unusual. A small creature runs from the closed gate and darts further into the house. Curious, the woman goes to take a closer look, but as soon as she gets a good glimpse of the creature, she bolts out of there in sheer fright. When you take a closer look at the footage, you'll see why she was so scared. This thing, or being, or whatever you want to call it, is humanoid. It has a pair of arms and legs that look human, but way too small to belong to any person. In fact, the being by itself is way too small, and that has had many individuals talking. Some say it's a gnome, others think it might be a duende, and there are even those who claim it's a leprechaun. Gnomes are said to be small, earthy creatures, while duendes are mischievous spirits known in Latin American folklore. And leprechauns, well, we all know they're the little Irish fairies with a knack for hiding pots of gold. Skeptics, however, have their theories. Some suggest it might be a small animal or even a cleverly edited video. But the woman's genuine reaction of fear adds weight to the possibility that she saw something truly out of the ordinary. What do you guys think, though? You won't believe what was found recently, this strange device that has everyone scratching their heads. When a piece of metal was placed on it, the metal didn't just get hot, it melted while emitting flames. Now, we're not exactly sure what this device is, but it's got people talking. Some folks believe it could be some sort of alien technology. Perhaps it was left behind by extraterrestrials, or maybe it's a piece of top-secret military tech that somehow got misplaced. Some say it might be an experimental piece of equipment designed for high-heat applications, but who knows if that is the case. When I first saw this footage, I had to do a double take. Just look at this bird swimming under the sea. It's moving so effortlessly and quickly that it almost seems too impressive to be real. For a moment, I thought this had to be some kind of fake, but then I did some research. This, my friends, is a puffin bird. Yes, the same beautiful bird we often see perched on cliffs or waddling along the shore. But they can also swim. Watching it glide through the water with such grace is truly something to behold. Who knew these little guys were such skilled swimmers? What's fascinating is the puffins are not just dabbling on the surface like many birds, they're actually diving deep, using their wings to fly underwater in search of fish. They can go as deep as 200 feet and stay underwater for up to a minute. It's like they have a whole second life beneath the waves that most of us never get to see. And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, with our clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I will see you in the next one.